Welcome to the Rise of Sulla. Let's go. Hey everyone, my name is Simpsy. How you all doing? Welcome to episode 1 of my Total War Rome 2 DEI Divide et Impera Sulla campaign on the Mithridatic War scenario. The main objective of this series is to take Rome, defeat Marius and his loyalists, and win Sulla's civil war. I hope you all enjoy. Alright everyone, as we're loading on in, I really do like this new loading screen. Once again, Dresden and his team have really outdone themselves. This mod is really quite enjoyable. So, this is episode 1 of a multiple part series / let's play, so stay tuned for episode 2 coming out soon. I've been playtesting this mod quite a bit, and it's thoroughly enjoyable. It got to a point where I'm sinking like hours into this mod, playing as Mithridates and Marius, and I was like, okay, I've got to probably commit to a let's play now of this. So let's get stuck into it. So we're playing as Sulla. The situation is complex. We're currently at war with Marius, who has most of the Italian peninsula under his control, same with Iberia and North Africa. We do have a bunch of vassals in the east as well, and we've also got to keep a watchful eye on Pontic to the far east as well. So basically, the plan for this series is we want to focus all our effort, all our wealth in crushing Marius and his Roman loyalists in winning this civil war. If we have to sacrifice vassals, if we have to sacrifice territory in the east, so be it. The balance of power is not in our favor. We're definitely outnumbered. I would say we probably have the overall better quality territory, resources and wonders just because we have Greece. However, they do have most of Italy, which is a really strong strategic peninsula to hold and defend. However, Marius's territory is a lot larger by mass. Like, he's got most of Iberia. Africa's massive as well. So we're going to have to be really careful navigating through those territory because there is a lot of choke points. Also, with the Mediterranean as well, crossing it without proper ships is going to be difficult. So Lucius Sulla is our faction leader. We've probably got more better quality generals on our side, Lepidus, Crassus, Pompey as well, and we've also got to watch out for those guys as well, potentially wanting to carve out chunks of our own faction. So I think in this series we're going to have to use the terrain and our settlements to our advantage. Obviously, it is difficult going up against another Roman faction because Rome is the best faction in the game. So we're going to have to really use our garrisons to our disposal because garrisons are really quite strong as well. Obviously, Marian reforms are in, so we're not using the earlier style of Roman units. So I think we're just going to try and lure and trap legions and just be willing to sacrifice territory. I think like it's hard to say, like, if we sacrifice Greece but we can gain a consolidated Italy, I think that is better for us. We've also got to watch out for rebels as well, which is going to be quite tough. So what I'm going to do here now is basically get another army. We actually have Arinium and Taurus as well. And I might look to move or disband this legion in the far east. We shall see. So, looking at the tech, most of it is done. I think we need to go with Civic to get more money because that's going to bankroll most of our legions. But we have 2 pieces of territory on the peninsula and we seriously cannot let that fall. We've got Taurus. Now, I nearly would say, like, if you could give Taurus to Marius, I don't know if it's like historically like at this time period like accurate for him to have that territory, because holding Taurus is like GG. Like, as soon as you get Taurus, you're basically going to conquer the Italian peninsula because it's such a hard settlement to take. If you want to like naval invade from Apollonia, so nearly balancing, you could probably give that settlement to Marius and it would be quite hard, but we're going to try and absolutely bunker down and hold that. Same with Arinium as well. We're currently negotiating here with my client states, just buffering Pontus, and we're going to try and get as much territory out of them as possible. Now, it's interesting. If we were actually bordering Pontus, it probably would be a little bit harder. I think I want to focus on Rome. Look, I don't think pushing so far east against Pontus at the moment is in our best interest. Like, it's going to be easier said than done to win this civil war, as we are fighting a Marian Reform Roman faction. So, and especially with the balance of power not on our side. We also want to try and get some of these northern barbarians at least to amicable relations with trade, non-aggression pacts, and just try and get better quality relations with them. Because if you can get a couple barbarians at your gates, pushing over the Danube, pushing into the Balkans, it can really quite complicate things. So if you can't get trade, you may be better off just... Sorry, if you can't get non-aggression pacts, you're nearly better off getting trade just to get some better relations. And also, we want to try and get as much money as we can so we can invest in our garrisons, because we don't want to be constantly moving armies and fighting over settlements. Because in DEI, obviously there's no force march, so you really have to spend your traits wisely if you do want more... campaign movement. Also, we want to try and buff up our garrisons. Thankfully, we're obviously a bit far into the Roman Republic, so the garrisons are going to be incredibly strong. So I don't know how I'm still going to roleplay in this series. I think we're just going to go with Roman dictatorships, essentially an empire. Like Sulla, we're going to obviously not say, obviously don't have Rome, so there's no Senate, but Sulla, for all intensive purposes, is the dictator, and hopefully he can have a long line and start his own empire, I suppose. I don't think we're going to get Sulla to retire at old age in his farm or vineyard. Yeah, we'll try and negotiate with Pontus here, just trying to get as much money as we can, because it's always worth just getting that extra denarii. So we've already increased that to 1,200, which is significant. We're importing a lot, and we're producing quite a bit to sell our wares. But at the moment, if we've got a full legion at Taurus, with a garrison, it's going to be nearly impossible for Marius to get us out of Italy then. Honestly, it'll probably take 2-3 legions from the AI to take that settlement. It is such a massive settlement for us to hold. If I gave any advice for this use, do not let Taurus fall whatsoever. I can't even imagine trying to move from Apollonia, get over to Taurus. I nearly wouldn't do it. If there was a full stack there of Marius units, it'd be so hard to take. Seriously, you'd nearly be better off going from the north. So we're going to make sure we don't lose Taurus. We're going to invest so much into it. We're going to assign Pompey Magnus to be the naval commander for this series, and we might even adopt him into our family tree as well, but we'll see. But he will be the Royal Navy commander for this series, and we'll try and get Crassus and Lepidus in the other legions as well. Okay, so we could go with a spy here just to get some intelligence. Trying to seize Beneventum is probably not a bad idea. Securing the southern peninsulas, it can be complicated. I think we want to try and focus on the Italian peninsula first before we focus on Sicily. So I'm just going to go around here and put some edicts in. I'm going to go with tax harvest for now, rather than selling off food and going with the food selling strat. At the moment, we've got a lot of other cultures in our settlements. We are not largely homogenous Latin-wise, so that can complicate things. Oh, perfect. So we're going to be able to accept some of these through the end turn phase. Yeah, getting these barbarians off my case is really quite a good idea. So we'll try and hold Irinium, and we'll try and hold Taurus as well. Okay, so already the public order is absolutely shot. Can we justify bringing it down? Because it nearly might be worth doing it. The main problem is, as you can see here, we've got a lot of Hellenic influence. Yeah, so Shrine... Yeah, I think maybe Aqueduct there as well. But yeah, we need to essentially flip this over to Latin as quick as possible. But also they're quite large as well. You'd think at this time period most of these would be largely Latin influence. I guess it's just trying to make it a little bit harder. Yeah, overall, from what I've seen, I think Marius is actually the easier faction to play as. Let me know in the comments if you guys have played a full Marius series just yet. But so far, I've been really enjoying my time playing this mod, and definitely open to be doing more on this. Potentially playing as Marius or Pontic, potentially. Now, unfortunately, we can't get decent quality units there, but that'll do. So there's a small army in Beneventum, and we're just slowly but surely now trying to build up, and we'll keep an eye on some of these legions as well. Legion 1, and we'll see if we can strike some of these, but we're a little bit outnumbered already. Okay, well, just looking at our building situation, we probably could do with another army. If I knew that we couldn't get that decent units in Arretium, I might have been a little bit hesitant. We're going to assign Lepidus here to get some cohorts and legionaries in Apollonia. He is our son-in-law, essentially, which is interesting. He could potentially one day lead the faction. Okay. So, public order is something we really have to keep an eye on. Still got a buffer state here, but this is what we currently control. Most of Greece and Illyria. We do actually have Sardinia, which is interesting. Carthage is destroyed at this point in time as well. So I think we'll try and focus on essentially the western half of Italy. So Legion 2 here is holding up in Cassentia. We've got line of sight. I think it's time to go with a plan of action and take Beneventum. I don't know where that army went. It's potentially gone north, so we're going to have to watch out for Crassus there. And this is a auto-resolvable battle. However, first battle of the series, we're going to play it, of course. Here we go. Here is the Battle of Beneventum. Going with the triple axis formation. Army group locked. I do like the formations in Rome too. So we'll slowly but surely move up. Keep in formation attack. We don't need to drop discipline. But let's have a look at the big fella. Where is he? There he is. Sulla, the man, the myth, the legend. So as the army marches on in for not a overly too difficult battle, I thought I'd do a brief history of Lucius Cornelius Sulla. So, who was Sulla? Sulla was a prominent Roman general and statesman who lived from 138 to 78 BCE. He was born into a wealthy family and began his military career in service of Rome, participating in several successful campaigns in Italy and in Asia Minor. In 188 BCE, Sulla was appointed consul and was tasked with putting down a rebellion in the Roman province of Italy. However, Sulla soon found himself at odds with his fellow consul Gaius Marius, who was also a powerful military leader. In a power struggle that came to be known, the First Civil War, Sulla marched on Rome with his army and took control of the city. After consolidating his power, Sulla embarked on a series of reforms aimed at strengthening the Roman state. He increased the power of the Senate, reduced the influence of the equestrian class, and reformed the legal system. He also appointed himself as dictator, a position he held until he resigned in 79 BCE. Sulla's dictatorship was marked by both reforms and repressions, as he used his power to eliminate political enemies and to establish his own control over the state. Nevertheless, his reforms laid the foundation for the Roman Empire, and he's remembered as one of Rome's greatest generals and leaders and statesmen. After retiring from politics, Sulla lived out the rest of his life in relative peace and died in 78 BCE at the age of 60. His legacy has been subject of debate, with some seeing him as a necessary evil who saved Rome from chaos, while others view him as a ruthless dictator who set a dangerous precedent for future leaders such as Gaius Julius Caesar. I'd be curious to know your thoughts and opinions about Sulla in the comments. Alright, we're just preparing to cycle charge them here. If we can target their skirmishes, that'll be good. The balance of power is probably 60-40 in our favour. DEI can be kind of weird sometimes. You're nearly better off auto-resolving in some situations if you do get the balance of power on your favour. Like, if this wasn't the first battle of the series, I would probably auto-resolve it. We've got some Hellenic cavalry charging on in here. Nicely done. We'll get our front line to pin and hold, and we'll just try and mop them up around the back. So, if you want to hear other topics on Sulla's Civil War, maybe some more in-depth stuff, let me know in the comments, and we might even talk about it in some of the battles. Because sometimes the battles and sieges can get quite grindy. I don't mind talking about Roman history here and there when it's relevant. Alright, nice peeler shot up and over the top, and we should be able to hold against these guys quite good. We're also using some visual submods as well, just to get HD 4K armor textures as well. I do quite like the DEI visual submods. They seem to be working in this beta. Just to add that little extra crisp of quality, but we're going to be able to win this one now that we're just surrounding them from all sides. And Sulla should be able to get his first victory of the series. Nice. We'll continue, and we'll just try and run them down as many of them as we can. Get that experience up. But there is Sulla. Raising his sword nice and high. Bloody. Right into the thick of it. Nice. And we'll end that one there. A decisive victory. Beneventum is now ours. So, I think taking Beneventum is better. That rolled off the tongue well. As Cassentia, it's quite a long stretch to get down there, and then you essentially leave Taurus vulnerable. I want to focus on Rome. The quicker we can get the capital under our control, that'd give us just like a huge, huge amount of legitimacy for the man who controls Rome. So, let's move the spy down here. They seem to be fortifying as well. Right, we'll get Pompey to move the navy to Asculum, because we might be able to secure the settlement. The settlement, not overly strategically important, but if we can trade out the vital salt deposits, that would give us a huge amount of money. Ugh, that auto-resolve is savage. Crassus has been sent with his man, his mate Pompey. We might need to get Sulla over there to help. But there is still Legion 1 somewhere. I don't know where it is. It might be further north in the fog of war. Who knows? And let's get offensive military capacity and morale. That's what I like. Okay, so the navy... Wait, where did that come from? Okay. During the end turn phase here, we've just been attacked by a small navy. Nothing too complex. So... They are our fellow countrymen. I do hate killing fellow Romans, so we'll let them go. Damn. We're going to withdraw. Yeah, sometimes it's just not in your favour. Oh, Pontus has attacked one of my eastern allies in Asia Minor, and they're going to bring in Armenia. Well, we're definitely going to break the alliance. See you later. We're not going to protect them. I can't afford a war against Pontus just yet. Okay, so let's move in Sulla to give some military support, and we'll get Crassus to come in. So this should give us an over-resounding victory. Nice. And Crassus can start hoarding his mass wealth. The bloody goblin. Alright. So, right, I was going to say, like, if we just keep Sulla out of range, we might be able to hit Rome in this same turn, but it's not possible. Alright, we'll keep Pompey, we'll keep Crassus here, and we'll try and get some better quality units with that army. Because we've really only got one effective legion. Oh, that's actually heading south. Interesting. I can sabotage the supplies, but I actually might let it go south. Sardinia hasn't been attacked whatsoever. I do want to move in that champion as well. And we've got more military reinforcements going to Epirus. Oh, man. Again, we've been attacked here. Bithynia wants us to defend them. Like, we're just going to let them go. Unfortunately, we've been attacked here by some Samnites that have rebelled in Beneventum. And they're actually going to take the settlement. We're going to have to march back, which is going to complicate things. We're starting to get some pretty bad rebellions pop up all over the place. Yeah, the public order is not good. I think technically we could have liberated them if we wanted to. But, yeah, we'll use Crassus's forces to retake Beneventum, because that could complicate things, making Sulla go all the way back with the main legion. But so far, we just, like, you can already see, we're actually just quite outnumbered. Okay, so that legion's just coming back and forth with Gaius there. Legion 2. That could be Gaius Julius, potentially. He's quite young, isn't he? Maybe he's too young. Alright, we're going to get Lepidus to send over a legion, and I guess we try and get that one back. So Crassus is a little bit weak. Alrighty, so I might need to bring up some more siege equipment, potentially. Because we could do with a battering ram. Nah, let's take Rome and try and bring it under our control. Let's go. Alrighty, here we go. The Battle of Rome. Oh, okay, so we can't actually get... Oh, I've been playing 1100 AD too much. It's been so long since I've played DEI. Oh, I've deployed these units around here thinking they can... get the gateway on fire. Okay, so we're only going to be able to use our 2 ladders. That's going to complicate things, because I'm assuming they're going to have a fighting on the wall bonus. Okay, we'll move our archers up, try and drag some arrow fire away, so we can have our legions be at a relatively stronger strength. Okay, so we're definitely going to need battering rams, and maybe even better quality siege towers. But I do quite like the blue and white and the different color scheme for Sulla's infantry. And here he is, ready to bring Rome, hopefully, under Sulla control. So as we're waiting for the siege equipment to move up, we've only just talked about Sulla. I thought it's probably fair to talk about Gaius Marius as well. So Gaius Marius was a prominent Roman general and statesman who lived from 157 to 86 BCE. He was born into a humble family, but rose to prominence through his military and political prowess. Marius began his military career in the service of Rome, participating in several successful campaigns in Italy and Africa. He became consul in 107 BCE and was tasked with putting down a rebellion in the Roman province of North Africa. Successful leadership in this campaign earned himself the support of the Roman people and cemented his status as a military hero. In the following years, Marius became involved in a power struggle with his rival, Lucius Cornelius Sulla, in a conflict that came to be known as the First Civil War. Marius and Sulla faced off in a power struggle to control Rome. Although Marius initially had support of the people, he eventually was defeated by Sulla and went into exile, which hopefully we can do in this campaign. Despite his setbacks, Marius remained a popular figure amongst the Roman people and was elected consul for the 7th time in 86 BCE. However, his comeback was short-lived as he died later in that same year, at the age of 79. Marius is remembered as one of Rome's greatest military leaders and a champion of the common people. He was known for his reforms to the Roman army, which made it more effective and efficient, and for his support of the common Roman soldiers. His legacy has had a lasting impact on the Roman state and its military, and remains one of its most famous figures. So now we have a little bit of backstory and a little bit of context and background as to who these two men were. What was the conflict between them? What was the spark? So, the conflict between Sulla and Marius began as a political disagreement over the direction of the Roman Republic. Sulla believed that the Republic was in danger from increasing the power of individuals like Marius, while Marius saw Sulla as a threat to the stability and security of Rome. The tensions between the two men grew. Sulla eventually marched on Rome with his army and took control of the city. So I'd be curious to know in the comments, who do you think was in the right? Was it Marius or Sulla? Let me know. In my opinion, it's a matter of perspective and subjective interpretation. Like, on one hand, Sulla can be seen as being right in his actions. He believed that the Roman Republic was in danger due to the increasing power of individuals, like Marius, and saw his takeover as Rome as necessary to restore balance and stability to the state. Also, his reforms also helped to strengthen the Senate and reduce the influence of the equestrian class, you could argue, which some may see as a positive outcome. On the other hand, Marius can also be seen as having valid concerns and actions. He believed that the Republic was in danger from external threats, such as barbarian invasions. He may have seen Sulla's actions as a threat to the stability and security of Rome in his own right. Ultimately, I come down that there's no real clear answer as to who was right in the conflict between Marius and Sulla. It was a complex power struggle between the two powerful individuals, each with their own beliefs and goals, and each with their own perspective on what they thought was best for Rome. Hindsight is 20/20. The outcome of their conflict helped shape the course of Roman history and had a lasting effect on the Roman state and its political structure, and you could nearly argue that it laid the foundation for the end of the Republic and was one of the contributing factors to the birth of the Roman Empire. So yeah, I hope you found that short little history recap interesting. It's been a while since I delved back into my old history analysis and essays and stuff, dusting off the old textbooks. But yeah, hopefully we can do some more sort of short history stuff through battles. I think doing a combination of two. Let me know if there's other specific Roman subjects you want me to hone on in. I do from time to time like to go back through my old university work and try and condense it down for you guys on YouTube. It's a lot of work to make it like semi palatable for YouTube, but I hope you guys enjoy it. It's a little bit different. Okay, so this battle, just a little bit grindy, particularly when it's like grindy, not really too much is happening, like tactically. I find it easier to chuck in some Roman history here and there. If the battlefield is quite open and quite dynamic and it's changing quite a bit, it can complicate things, but Rome just looks beautiful. We're fighting a garrison as well. Sometimes when you're fighting an active legion, things can be quite difficult. But at the moment, we're trying to push through this narrow path with one ladder. We're going to try and get access to the gateway. The quicker we can get our legionaries in, the better. But overall, army build-wise, still quite strong. Bunch of veteran legionaries and legionnaires. I would like to get some more archers potentially, but the thing is with my army build, that looks cool. Like, nice little bit of Roman architecture there as we're flanking around, trying to take those crucial capture points. So army build wise is going to be a little bit different than what I normally would deploy in like a vanilla DEI Roman Republic save. Personally, my army builds, I like to have 5 archers and then like 4 units of cavalry, the rest infantry. Depending if you're coming up against a lot of cavalry, you want some spears here and there. But because we're going to be doing so many sieges in this series against Romans, you're going to need a lot more infantry. So nearly for this series, because we're doing so many sieges and there's going to be massive solid garrisons, I would nearly forego cavalry and potentially even archers to some extent. Okay, we've got the battle of the officers there as he keels on over. Yeah, so if we can have like 2 archers, because the cavalry's just going to get rinsed in auto resolves. That's what I would do. Like, honestly, looking at the army build for this, having some more legion... Like, if we drop those cavalry and potentially drop the archers, we'd actually probably have a better result, potentially. Alright, we've got some legionnaires now, fighting in combat against their general. If we can crush him, we might be able to cause a rout and get the capture point under our control. But so far, we haven't actually fought a full, proper Roman legion just yet. I do know because I've played as Marius when I was testing this mod to see if it was, like, well, workable. And was, like, able for me to commit a full series, which it is. Highly recommend it. Go find it on Steam. DEI. Version 1.3.2, the beta. I'd recommend it. Most of Marius's legions are actually in Iberia. So it's going to take a while before they can be deployed and moved on over. Obviously, he's got some in central Italy. But come on, lads. Raise your gladius up nice and high. And let's take this city. We're actually fighting a lot of Hellenic-styled units there. But thankfully, Rome isn't too big either. Sometimes taking Rome can be quite difficult when it's fully expanded. But we're going to be able to bring down the banner of Marius and raise the banner of Sulla. Hoorah! Alright. Just skirmishing us here. Got this gateway under our control. We've initiated the countdown, so we should be okay. Committing a lot of forces there. We've kind of baited them there. Just got to watch out for the response. We'll get 1 unit to hold the capture, then we might try and stop them. We haven't needed to deploy our formation just yet, because we haven't fought a defensive battle. The discipline formation for Rome is just still broken as. But, always love playing as a Roman faction. I feel like you gotta play a DEI campaign ever so often. Every 6 months to a year. Alright, let's charge on in here. As long as we can stop those skirmishes from getting to the town square, it'll be fine. Stop them initiating the countdown. But so far, we're getting some small territorial gains. If we can take Rome, that would be massive. We can use that as our base of operations. And that's it. Decisive victory. Nice. So far, I think we've been quite fortunate. We haven't been drawn into any direct conflicts in the Far East. Pontus is still neutral with us. I guess, yeah, you just give up those vassals. I don't see the incentive of fighting on a two-pronged front, potentially with Armenia as well. But Rome's been conquered, which is massive. We've got some rebellions here now, one in Iridium and Beneventum. Yeah, those can really add up quite a bit. That's just like another dynamic to this difficult campaign. Okay, so they're back up here in Cassentia. Legion 2. Still got to watch out for that.
How may I serve you?
It's interesting that they're rebelling. I think it's just because we've conquered it so recently. Because that can just add up in losing men, manpower, and money. So Crassus has been sent to deal with another Samnite rebellion. Dude's dealing with rebels. Hopefully a slave by the name of Spartacus doesn't come up. Lepidus has actually landed here in Taurus. So, like, it's actually not in our interest to push south to Cassentia. Like, it's going to take 2-3 turns there. You could get intercepted. Like, we're just going to hold. Down in the south, that is. I will get Sulla to move north, though, to Arretium to secure the wine supplies. Because once we get Italy locked down, there's even like a buffer zone between Massalia and Western Iberia as well. Another rebellion there, damn. Okay, so we're actually having a lot of rebellions popping up, but thankfully the garrisons are strong enough. The Roman garrisons are already quite strong, but especially now that in this time period are a little bit further along. What is it, 80 BCE? Yeah. Oh my god, they're really, really adding up. They really don't like this conquest. There's actually been a peace with one of my former vassals and Pontus. Interesting. Yeah, I think... I don't know. It'd be really hard to fight on multiple fronts. Because like, look at this already. We're already outnumbered here. There's 2 legions moving north. That one's still in the south.
How can I be of assistance?
And we're still not at full strength just yet. We'll keep an eye on Cassentia. We might be able to make a play. And let's try and... What do we got here? Yeah, volunteer legionaries are better than just the basic spear variant we've got. So let's try and get a couple of those in. Crassus and Lepidus are holding in the south. Sulla might be able to intercept this army. Ooh, it's fortified. I want to fight a legion on the open field, but we don't have the archers for this. 2,500 against 3,300. I don't like auto-resolving like field battles, but it actually would be silly to manually play this one. A fortified position with arrow towers in this game, on this difficulty, yeah, no thanks. We're going to take the cheesy, decisive victory there. If they ran back, would give chase, but 800? No, we'd nearly lose half the army doing that. Something I would recommend to you guys is be very, very hesitant about fighting fort battles in DEI. I think in my Sparta series, we had some crazy fort battles where we would, like, defensive, playing with Spartan infantry and just holding. Any offensive fort battle, you'd lose mass casualties. Mass losses. But so far, decisive victory against them. That is half of a legion now crushed. And let's move to look to hit Patavium, I think. that army near it, because we still got that under our control. It's probably going to fall, though, you'd imagine. Yeah, during the end turn phase, one of these legions is actually striked. Yeah, so it's actually taken them a while to get, like, the units to northern Italy. So it's nearly like if you can quickly, rapidly take Rome and Beneventum, it's actually worth doing. Getting drawn into Sicily just yet? No. But thankfully I haven't lost any eastern territory, which is a bonus. But to be fair, it's still pretty early days in this civil war. Okay, so we've got some complications here in Illyria, but we should be okay. We've got some Illyrian pirates rising up. Let's throw them back. Now, I am curious if they'd be interested in peace. Because we're just about outnumbered. Like, sometimes war weariness can be a bit of a thing. Like, it's good to have breaks in war. Obviously, the mechanic's not in there from Thrones, but taking breaks from the conflict is not a bad idea. Okay, so they've taken Patavium. We've lost our glass supply, which is actually going to impact our trade quite a bit. Ooh, okay. So we are not favoured to win this one. We're actually outnumbered quite a bit. It's an offensive battle as well. Against Gaius Gracchus. We have an opportunity to kill one of the Gracchi brothers. Let's encircle, and then we'll see how they react. Okay, so they've actually attacked me during the end turn phase, which I'd rather. But 3,000, we're outnumbered by 1,000 and a bit. Ooh, this is going to be a tough one. So, Sulla facing Gaius Gracchus. Who would have thought? So, triple axis formation. We'll hold in discipline. And hopefully, we're going to be able to crush one full Roman legion. We've already hit half of one. And then we might be able to swing some of the balance of power back into our side. Here's some of the HD textures for one of the sub mods I'm running. Highly recommend. So this is the garrison force, I would imagine. And then the main force is in the rear. So we'll get our cavalry to harass. We're going to try and hold. Skirmish as best we can. And we'll try and get some hammer and anvil strikes once the infantry interlock with ours. Now, I don't think this is the Gaius Gracchus, as the timelines don't add up exactly. Maybe it's an ancestor or whatever. But I thought I'd use this opportunity to talk about Gaius Tiberius, the Gracchi brothers. So, these two were Roman politicians who lived in the 2nd century BC. They were both born into noble families and were well educated, with a strong interest in politics and welfare of the Roman people. Tiberius Gracchus was elected tribune of the people in 133 BCE, and he used his position to push reforms aimed at addressing the issue of landlessness among the Roman poor. He proposed a law that would distribute public land to the poor, which was met with opposition from the wealthy aristocracy. Despite this opposition, Tiberius was able to pass the law, but he was eventually assassinated by his political enemies. Gaius Gracchus, Tiberius' younger brother, followed in his footsteps and was elected tribune of the people in 123 BC. Like his brother, he was a champion of the Roman people and pushed for reforms aimed at addressing the social and economic inequality. He proposed a series of laws that provided food and other assistance to the poor, as well as the reforms to the Roman legal system. Despite their popularity among the people, the Gracchi brothers faced opposition from the wealthy aristocracy, and their reforms were ultimately unsuccessful. Both the brothers were assassinated, and their deaths marked the end of an era of political reform in the Roman Republic. The legacy of the Gracchi brothers is complex and continues to be debated by historians. They are remembered as courageous politicians who sought to address the issues facing the Roman people. Others saw their radical reforms threaten the stability of the Roman Republic. Nevertheless, their actions helped to lay the foundation for future reforms and set the stage for the eventual transformation of the Roman Republic to the Empire. So I guess we try and focus on general sniping him now after that. I don't think we got him. So we're just holding on from that first army now, and I hope you enjoyed that brief little history on the Gracchi brothers. We might be wasting a little bit of ammunition. That archer shot was quite accurate, to be honest. Oh, like it wasn't just like a medium to long range volley. Like, really quiet and short up and over was quite accurate. I'm surprised. Right, I'm just going to move my cavalry out to the border of the map here because it seems like we might be able to bait the general further away from the main cluster of the enemy force. There even seems to be an archer unit coming. They're going with a flying triangle formation, so let's try and hit them from multiple sides. My cavalry has taken a little bit of damage, but so far we are not favoured to win this one. So we're definitely going to need to try and general snipe and focus on their skirmishes as best we can. Okay. Now just gotta watch out for their auxiliary. Okay, now we can go. Now, these are not your tier 1 trash vilites. These are like decent, quite heavily armoured auxiliaries. But, oh, they've turned. Okay, if we can manage to catch them from behind, we might be able to get a solid charge here. My cavalry already, you can see just how slow and sluggish that charge was, because obviously in DEI, Divide et Impera, fatigue is something you really have to watch out for. You can't just mindlessly run around with your cavalry like in Medieval 2 and I guess even vanilla Rome to some extent, because they just get too fatigued. You've really got to pick your mark and chances when you run about a bit. Okay, so we're starting to get a little bit of a trickle feed of their infantry tackling mine. But this is massive here today. If we don't destroy this army here, liberate the people of Batavium, the expansion of Cisalpine Gaul, and hell, the consolidation and liberation of Cisalpine Gaul might be on the back foot, on the back burner a bit. Alright, we're going to try and hold as best we can. But it's going to be interesting to see how this one ends out. Okay, we've managed to crush that unit because we've hit it from multiple sides. Let's swing in the cavalry and we'll try and cycle charge. Just need to try and hold the line. But we should have an advantage with their general staff depleted. However, two armies are here. One from the garrison and one from the legion inside, of course. But so far, fierce fighting is now breaking out. Shields and gladius shattering and clanging. Alright, let's try and do some semblance of a hammer and anvil. And then eventually cycle charge. It was more of a bump than a charge. Oh wow, okay, some of these might be a little bit more high octane. Can we get a nice little boost here? Yeah, there we go. Seems to be working. Although it's not like super high energy, yeah, high octane. Cycle charging and doing this hammer and anvil tactic will work to some extent. So we're kind of throwing all our eggs into this Italy basket. Because look, if I had an option on the table to get all of Italy under my control, potentially sacrifice Greece and some of the other overseas territory, I'd probably accept it. Because Italy is just such a, it's probably the strongest peninsula to defend and hold in Total War Rome 2. Like, the Iberian Peninsula has a lot of gaps. It's not as wealthy. Maybe. Iberia is quite underrated, to be fair. But I just think Italy, like, to defend Sicily, Cisalpine Gaul. Like, Cisalpine Gaul, if you try and hold that, if you got, like, 3 stacks, even 1 stack, like, you can just bunker down anything. You can seriously throw back anything that comes over that Alps. And, like, holding Taurus, it's like, GG. Like, Greece is so wealthy, but it is really quite vulnerable to naval attacks. Maybe it's because there's so many ports. Okay, so we're crippling on that right-hand side. We have managed to swing it back slightly, but I would still say we're not favoured to win this one. That's the thing, though. DEI, you can get away with it a little bit, but mods like 1100 AD for Rome 2, maybe in a couple of others, like, bigger army diplomacy just always wins. Like, if you've got 4,000 to 3,000, geez, it's pretty hard to win a battle. And seeing to this one, it's about 4,300, so it's even a bit more. So hopefully our tactics can win out. We'll see. Like, maybe even 1100 AD as well. If there's 5,000 basing for 3,000, I don't even know if you'd even win that. Especially on the higher difficulties. Okay, so that's an alright charge there. Oof. This is tough. This is going to go to the absolute bitter end. But yeah, tactically not really too much is happening. We're just sort of holding, and we're just going to try and cycle charge here. We might even need to throw in Sulla. We'll see. But at the moment on the channel-wise, thoroughly enjoying my one-off campaigns over the last couple weeks and months. I feel like I'm able to record a lot more. Still dealing with my hand injury, so hopefully that will get fixed soon. I mentioned it briefly, but that's why. And also, there hasn't really been anything brand new that I felt deserved a full campaign. Like, there hadn't been really anything new until now. Mithridatic Wars. But, because I've been doing these mod spotlights as well, I've actually gone back to mods I haven't looked for a while. I did actually notice that Ancient Empires had a pretty significant update. I must have missed that for Attila version 2.0. I think it came out last year, but I hadn't actually played it in over a year, and I was like, oh, that actually looks good. So maybe I should do an Ancient Empires series. It's been like 4 years since I've played that. But yeah, I was testing this the other day, and I was like, okay, it works. Because you gotta... I don't want to start series that I can't commit to, like if it just like crashes for whatever reason, or they're still ironing out stuff, but the 10-minute test turned into a half an hour test, and I was like, oh, it's been like an hour into it, and I'm like, oh, I'm playing this a lot longer than what I thought, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll make some plans and preparations, we'll do a series, so can't wait to spend the next days and weeks playing a couple hours of this and then editing it down for you guys. So we might even get back to the old thumbnail as well. But we've also got like one-off campaigns, because sometimes, depending on the Total War and stuff, you can do a campaign in a couple hours or so and edit it down to one video. Like, as much as I like the Great War mod, sometimes those battles don't need a full Let's Play series. Like, I just feel like DEI is way more tactical. Alright, I'm going to try and have to switch on air focus. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't want to risk Sulla, but we might have to. I think we lost. Yeah, that's GG's. We're outnumbered there. Oh. I'm out of abilities as well. Maybe if I use them a bit and time them a bit better. Wants me right here. Oh, there we go. Oh, come on, just hold. If we just avoid that loss penalty, we'll be fine. Ugh. They somehow held. Oh, we got some guys in reserve. We'll get here quick. What are you? I didn't realize. I thought they were gone. As if they came back. Oh, come off it. Come on. No. Can we do it? I don't know. I got no hope. Quickly, just like, yeah, like, get into the radius. Oh, this is gonna... This might be a Pyrrhic victory. Hang on. Because we're tying now, and we've got a cavalry unit. Bear with me. Oh no, that's capitulating there. Ooh. Also, when you're throwing in the general, there is a risk that you could get the RNG of losing Sulla. I don't think they're immortal in this mod either. So, we're going to be careful. If Sulla or Marius dies, that's it, it's a GG. But also, this might be a GG. Hang on. Oh, no way. Hang on. Well, where'd the camera go? Bro, yeah, get it. Yeah. Come on, come on, come on. Nice. Another one bites the dust. Yeah, pin that, then cycle charge that. That'll do. Yeah, hold on, Sulla. Let's go again. Oh, we're good. Nice, focus on the last unit. We won. Sulla, you beauty. How we pulled that off. Wow. I guess history repeats itself. Gaius Gracchus bites the dust. I don't mind the Gracchi brothers. Obviously, descendants of Scipio Africanus, my favourite Roman general. What's your favourite Roman general? Let me know in the comments. Alright, let's try and run down as many of these. Oh, so... this is still going to complicate things because even though we've won here in Patavium, however it's Pyrrhic, so if there's any reinforcement... Oh, if there's another stack coming in, we're stuffed. We've already defeated a stack and a half up here, so I'd be surprised if there's another. But we're going to need to lick our wounds and then make plans and preparations to go for Mediolanum, whatever it's called. I can never remember. I play so many different time periods, and I think it's Mediolanum in this. And Genoa, I guess we'll go for. It's Pyrrhic and it's costly. Yeah, so we're outnumbered by quite a bit, but we somehow managed to pull it off, and we've crushed a legion in the process, which is massive. Wow. I am going to try and be a little bit more liberal on the ransom, because it is an active civil war. Brothers versus brothers, at the end of the day. And I could do with the money in some aspects. So the siege will continue. Also, like if we can crush them and there's like some like tiny little bit in North Africa that they've got, like I would accept a peace. Like you've got to come to a compromise. I wonder if you can actually confederate in this mod at some point. I don't know. Alright, still dealing with the countless rebellions which are popping up. That's something you should definitely keep an eye on. But thankfully, the garrisons have been strong enough. We've thrown them back in Illyria. Another rebellion here. This in Crete. Even in Greece, we're having rebellions as well. But thankfully, we're able to push them back. No need to manually play those. Oh no, a child has died. Okay. One of Lepidus's children. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright, now it is winter, and we're about to have a winter offensive against the last of the garrison that fled back into Patavium. And we lost our cavalry in the process. Oh, and some valuable legionnaires. Oof. Oh well. A Pyrrhic victory though in the process. And hopefully that will delay their advances for a bit. Okay, back down in Crete again. Another rebellion. Thankfully none of them have really been that difficult. We're just sort of farming them at the moment. Taking the ransom, I don't mind. Give us a little bit of additional money. I feel like in some areas you can just like farm units if you want. Oh my god, another bunch of them. What's going on here? Oh no, all of them are... What's happened? Is that rate gone up on something? Oh no. Yeah, that's some pretty bad RNG. All of Lepidus's line has ended. I guess I'll try and seek spouses for Pompey and Crassus. Also, what I've found in Rome too is I find it really hard to adopt people into the family. Maybe it's just a Rome 2 thing. It's pretty hard to get the gravitas high enough. But I feel like in Attila, you can adopt characters like so much easier. Like, I would like to get Pompey and Crassus into our line. We have had a rebellion here in the north. It's a slave rebellion, so Spartacus and the boys have appeared. And I suppose we get the one and only Crassus to go and deal with it. I think that would be quite fitting for him to put down this equivalent servile rebellion, I suppose. Man, because that's the thing as well. It's not only just these small rebellions of ethnic factions that pop up, like you're fighting Illyrian pirates, you're fighting units from Knossos. When there's a slave revolt, it can be quite damaging because it spawns a full stack of decent units. Okay, so it looks like the Legion has fled back to Sicily, so damn, we could have used that advantage to push into Cassentia, but if we could keep it down there, that'll be okay. Just because we've been distracted. We've only got 2 full legions in operation now. Well, one's been kind of crushed in Patavium, so we're going to have to replenish and repair. So I'm going to move Pompey down with his navy, because he might be able to come out and help. Okay, so it's going to allow them to flee further back. Then Pompey might be able to get in on this. We'll see, hang on. Scenario, still continuing with the main objective of trying to defeat Marius and his loyalists. I hope you all enjoy. Alright, first things off, we're going to be kicking things off here today with a battle with Crassus putting down a rebellion, which I think is quite fitting, as Crassus gained a lot of infamy in the Third Servile War against Spartacus, which we're going to be talking about here today. So, who was Marcus Licinius Crassus? He was a wealthy and influential Roman politician and military leader who lived during the late Roman Republic. He was born in 115 BC and rose to prominence through his successful business ventures, including the acquisition of vast lands and establishment of his own private army. In the late 60s BC, Crassus joined the First Triumvirate, a political alliance between Gaius Julius Caesar, Pompey the Great, and himself, which dominated Roman politics for several years. In 73 BC, the Third Servile War broke out in Italy, a massive slave revolt led by the gladiator Spartacus, who threatened the stability of the Roman Republic. Crassus was appointed the main commander of the Roman forces tasked with putting down this rebellion. He led a brutal campaign against the slaves, who were eventually defeated in 71 BC. The defeat of the slave rebellion marked a significant victory for Crassus, who gained immense popularity and prestige as a result. Despite his military success, Crassus struggled to find a place in the power structure of the Roman Republic. He saw himself as a rival to Gaius Julius Caesar, who was gaining increasing power and influence. In 53 BC, Crassus led an ill-fated expedition against the Parthian Empire in an attempt to increase his standing and prestige. The expedition was a disaster, and unfortunately Crassus was killed in the battle and process. The legacy of Marcus Licinius Crassus is complex. On one hand, he was a wealthy and influential politician who played a significant role in the power struggles of the late Republic. On the other hand, he was known for his brutal repression of the Third Servile War, which was a turning point in the history of Roman slavery. Despite his controversial legacy, to say the least, Crassus remains a fascinating figure, in my opinion, in Roman history. His life to this day is still studied and debated by scholars and historians. So let me know in the comments, what do you think about Crassus? Was he a Chad? Was he a beta? I don't mind Crassus. I quite liked the actor who played him in that Spartacus show. I think it's Simon Myrtles, or whatever his name is. Although that show in itself has some problems, I think his acting of Crassus was actually quite good. What do you reckon? Let me know. Far better than what Julius Caesar was in that show, who was like some frat boy, essentially. Jeez. Alright, back to the battle now. Not overly too complicated. We've marched into a solid position out of the tree line, and now we can just sit in our formation and try and hold. At the end of the day, not the most well-trained or equipped soldiers we're facing. Mostly rebellious gladiators and whatever they can round up from the countryside. So, once we've put down this rebellion, it should be able to free up Crassus to move north. But we do have to be a little bit careful with giving some of these generals prestige and renown, as unfortunately we can't seem to, like, ideally you'd want to try and adopt marry them into Sulla's line. You don't want them splitting off, making their own faction, or potentially trying to carve out or civil war out. Alright. But so far, most of my army's professional. I've got some lighter cohort and some spearmen as well that we recruited early on. But Crassus is holding well. Just going to get his cavalry commanded on the left flank here. So as long as we don't send Crassus east against the Parthians, he should be alright fighting in and around Italy. It'd be funny if he got like a bonus fighting in Italy or something. Alright, some of the rebellious scum under Spartacus's banner are retreating. It also, like, timeline-wise sort of works out as well. So I guess this is sort of our servile war that we got going, which is kind of cool that it popped up. You got to be careful in the Mithridatic Wars scenario for this. There's just countless rebellions and uprisings. Just because the empire is so large at this point, you've just got such an influx of this pop. Okay, so we're going to start enveloping now, and hopefully now that we've pinned them with the front line on of our infantry, we can swing around and entrap them. Nice. We've only got one cavalry unit because these legionaries have been mostly focusing on sieges. So we'll try and cycle charge with this one, and then we'll try and work our way down the main line. The centre's still holding, but unfortunately for the enemy, their flanks are capitulating. Let's give out some more attack orders here. Move out of formation. Alright. Some of them have rallied, but just trying to mop up the last of them now. There's no way they're going to be able to win this one. Nice. Only a handful holding now. And unfortunately, their front line has capitulated. We do want to try and run down as many of them as we can. Gives us the option to get the captives or potentially ransom them. Okay. Not all of them have capitulated. The general unit and another have recovered. Nice. We've won the battle, so let's continue. Oh, Crassus actually took some damage. Yeesh. I didn't even notice how, yeah. He should be okay, though, to charge on in. If I got a notification of him being taken out, we would have heard it. But he's okay. Alright. We're quite lucky that we found an opening in this battlefield. We were sort of down on the slope. A lot of thick Italian tree line and foliage and forest. But we've won a glorious victory here today. Right, let's end that one there. A decisive victory for Crassus. The rebellion has been put down. And hopefully that's the last of these wars. Hopefully it's the third and final servile war. And hopefully not the first in this alternative timeline. So the uprising has been officially crushed. Ooh, Lepidus wants to be adopted. Oh no, we can't allow that. Would they be interested in peace? No. It's always worth checking. Although, like, the main objective of this series was to take Rome. We've done that. We do want to try and crush and kill Marius and his loyalists. But, hey, if we can take a break from the war here and there to recover, and then it's like, take a break in the winter, replenish and repair when war weariness kind of sets in, and then go with a summer or spring offensive. Why not? We can have multiple peace breaks. Like, sometimes it's strategically viable to do that. Anyway, we've got Crassus going down here to Cassentia, and finally, for the first time so far, there hasn't been a legion floating around that area. I don't know where it is. I can't see it in the fog of war. It's probably down in Sicily. But we're going to be able to use that now, and we might make plans and preparations to take Sicily, but we'll see. I do want to move Lepidus now with another army, and... okay. I just want to get Sulla to scout ahead in Mediolanum. His army's quite weak after taking Patavium, so we're going to need more reinforcements. There's probably no... it's not a bad idea for us to siege us. They might even come out against us, we'll see. Oh, and they have during the end turn phase. We're a little bit depleted, but I actually think this could be winnable, potentially. It's only a garrison force, and I do want to try and take Mediolanum before more legions come on in. Alright, let's fight this one. It's bucketing down with rain. This is going to be tough. We are not favoured to win this one whatsoever. But it is a garrison force, and hopefully Sulla is the superior commander. Because we've crushed 2 full legions. The quicker we can take these settlements, the better, because we don't want any more coming on in. Although there's a buffer state in Massalia who we're not at war with. They are a client state of Marius. And they will be flooding troops from southern France and Iberia. I'm just going to get my cavalry to try and target their skirmishers and harass them. Sulla's under attack. We're in a holding formation. Now, they are attacking us at the end of the day, so hopefully we should be able to hold. The Roman formations in DEI are just incredibly overpowered. Watch out for this swordsman, but we seem to be working their skirmish as well. If we could neutralize those full skirmisher units, that would be terrific. But the garrison from Mediolanum has now come out. Oh, hang on. There we go. Oh, geez, Sulla might get caught here. Boot and scoot, please. No, I was going to say go to the edge of the battlefield, but they're not going to be able to retreat. Just come, yeah, intertwine with you. We've got some infantry sitting back here. Nah, okay. Well, unfortunately, my cavalry's now been crushed. And now it's up to Sulla and the remaining infantry units. It's currently pouring down with rain. It's going to make the terrain quite sluggish and the combat slow, and actually might be to our advantage. Because we just need to sort of hold and chip away at them. I've just moved Sulla here between this unit, because a decent volley would probably wreck him. If we can sort of intertwine him and protect him with that infantry, it's probably not a bad idea. But once we get Cisalpine Gaul fully under our control, that's the entirety of the peninsula, controlled by Sulla and the boys, which is massive. If we can get all of Cisalpine Gaul, make sure we trade off, get non-aggression pacts with the barbarians to the north, we're laughing. We're going to be able to hold and throw anything back. Then we might need to draw plans and preparations for the invasion of Massalia. Oh my god, Sulla is so low here. Maybe I've bitten off more than I can chew here. This is going to be a tough one. I don't know if this is winnable. Just too weak. My infantry to a man. We are depleting the garrison quite a bit. To be fair, we might be able to... if we can deal enough damage, we might be able to come back. With the mercenaries, then take it. Because Lepidus is right nearby. Yeah, we couldn't allow that adoption to go through, by the way. It was definitely worth paying that. Lepidus is married to my adopted daughter, yes. Not my biological. Technically, he's my adoptive son-in-law. Technically. Ideally. Well, yeah, I guess if Sulla dies, he becomes the next in line, eh? Because Sulla is quite old at this point, 57. So depending on how long this war goes, we might need to set a succession plan. Because the kids are quite young. Who should rule after Sulla? Crassus? He'd think he'd be the man for the job. Lepidus. Pompey. Oh, God. Maybe if it turns into a full-on civil war, which it probably will do. After Marius. We're looking good in this left pocket, in the right as well. We might be able to pull this off, you know. Oh, maybe not. We were doing good there, and it just fell apart. This is a tough one. Just speeding things up, because, like, tactically, there's not really much we can do. If Sulla was, like, a little bit more healthy, we might have been able to pull this one off, but it doesn't look good. Damn. Too ambitious, I think. We've picked off a little bit more than what we can chew. Yeah. We're not going to be able to win this one. Unfortunate. We might be able to come back with mercenaries now. No. Oh well. Yeah, I reckon she's GG's. You win some, you lose some. Big L. Sulla's going to get on the forehead for this one. And let's withdraw. Costly enemy victory. We did a decent amount of damage though. And we kind of baited them out. Although we lost, we inflicted a decent amount of casualties. Rather than actually sieging it. We might have to look at the mercenary pool. We'll see. Wait, what? Mission successful. Sulla's civil war? That's a little bit presumptive. Oh, it's because we're taking the territory. Oh, we've got a decent amount of money though, which is good. Okay. So we found the Legion. It's back at Syracuse. We'll get Crassus to replenish and repair. We've got some small rebellions popping up. We did damage the garrison quite a bit. And we'll try and get some of the fellow Gauls hanging around the Po Valley. Say, hey, you want to join this offensive? We'll get Lepidus to move in. Okay. Because we don't want Sulla to auto-resolve because it might knock him off. So bear with me. And we'll move Sulla back to get more infantry. So I think just... I guess will this work? Oh, I'd nearly take an auto-resolve if we could do it. Right, maybe we try round 2. Can we get any more mercs? Let's just get some basic cohort and infantry. Start chipping away continually. Oh, we've been attacked here down in Taurus. We've got some Hellenic loyalists wanting to secede from the Roman Empire. Taurus, obviously, a former Spartan colony, so they have a lot of connections to the Greek world. They've been put down. I'm going to move my spy to Massalia, just to get some intelligence. There's a full stack there. Yeah, Massalia is an absolute nightmare to take. Luckily, we weren't attacked during the end turn phase, and we're just going to try and focus on getting more mercenaries in. And we might have to allow Lepidus to take the win on this one. Get Sulla to ferry troops back and forth. Okay, nice. So, we'll take this. Oh, if we go... We allow more men. Well, we're the mercenaries, so I don't think it really matters. So, although Sulla lost on the battlefield, went with a tactical retreat, sent Lepidus, his son-in-law, to take Mediolanum. And now Genoa. Or Liguria. Still not under our control. Cool. Yeah, I think it's... like we lost a lot of men doing that, but it's probably worth... rather than sitting back and then fighting again. Now, we're going to be able to open up the vital trade lanes into Switzerland, Germany, and the essentially Germanic states. If we can bribe them with trade and commerce, we can hopefully try and keep them off our back. especially when we're really weak. We've got a lot of goods to trade. We've got Italy and Greece now, so everyone loves me. Everyone wants to trade with me. Okay, so welcome to the top of the turn. Sulla's got 5 units in Legion 1 now. We'll push over the border to Genoa. Now, we were just there before, so I know there's no army there in the Fog of War. And we'll swing on over. I do want to phase out those mercenaries at some point when we can. But using them to quickly conquer Cisalpine Gaul is definitely worth. Oh, if we go with a protective stance, we actually lose straight up. Man, Roman garrisons are quite tough and difficult to deal with. Sometimes you just want to sort of take the tactical order resolve. And look, you know what? I don't think we're going to be intercepted from Massalia, so we might even wait even longer. We might even siege them out and see how they go. So we're dealing with the north. Still got Pompey in Taurus. Oh, they've actually moved the Legion to Cassentia. We could sabotage? I think we will. Oh, okay. They actually might hit Cassentia with Crassus in there with a full Legion. I'd be curious, because that Legion has been incredibly passive in this series, going back and forth. Interesting. Oh, look, they've attacked. Well, we'll fight this one at the start of the next episode, so stay tuned for episode 3 coming out soon, where Marius has sent a legion against Crassus, who's going to try and hopefully defend the southern Italian peninsula for us. The main objective of this series is to take Rome, which we've done, and ultimately defeat Marius and his loyalists. I hope you all enjoy. Alright, kicking things off here today, we're going to have a defensive settlement battle with Crassus, our first of the series, while Sulla is still trying to occupy Cisalpine Gaul in the north. We currently have 2 full legions in operation, still very much outnumbered. We've probably crushed 3-4 of Marius. They obviously start off outnumbering us at the start. We're starting to change the tide in this war by winning most of the battles and conquering more territory than them. We're coming up against a general called Gaius. Now, I don't know which Gaius this is. It could be Norbanus, it could be Gaius Carinus, or it could be Censonorius, potentially. So, as I don't know which one it is, it's not actually Gaius Marius himself the Younger, because it's just not the same portrait. So I thought what we'll do here today is talk about all 3 of these men. I can't remember, like, I can't remember the face matching this one, so, like, when I played Marius's faction in my test playthrough. So let's talk about these 3 men in the context of Sulla's civil war. So Gaius Norbanus was a Roman statesman and military leader who lived during the late Roman Republic, who rose to prominence through his successful military campaigns and earned himself a reputation as a skillful commander. Norbanus was known for his exceptional loyalty to the Roman Republic and opposed the rise of authoritarian leaders such as Sulla. He was a staunch defender of Marius and his cause against Sulla. Gaius Carinus served as praetor, a high-ranking office for administration and justice. Carinus was known for his integrity and impartiality, and gained a reputation as a fair and just judge. He was widely respected by the Roman people, and his term as praetor was remembered as a time of stability and justice. Censorinus was known as a charismatic military leader who rose to prominence during the Social War and played a crucial role in Marius's military campaigns and really helped Marius to establish himself as a powerful figure in Rome. All 3 of these men, Norbanus, Carinus, and Censorinus, played important roles in the late Roman Republic and helped shape the political and military landscape of the time. Although they had different political ideologies, each to their own, they all shared a commitment to the Roman Republic and tried to bring down the dictator Sulla, and worked to protect, in their opinion, the interests and try to maintain the stability of the Republic. So overall, 3 interesting men in their own right. Hopefully we don't get the Gaius is the prominent military commander. Hopefully this is not Norbanus. Alright, back to the battle. So far, not overly too difficult, this one. We've managed to funnel them into 2 choke points and we're holding quite well. It doesn't seem like the AI is willing to flank. We've still got our units there, but if we can lull them more into this choke points, we should be able to get them. But trying to push through this with cavalry and infantry, it's not going to work out. They are attacking at the end of the day, so they're going to hopefully just throw everything they can at us. We've obviously redeployed some of the units that were defending the back of the city. I was expecting a full-on encirclement and envelopment, but it seems like they're trying to pinch and punch on through. So the massive thing is, if we're successful here today, that's going to be Legion 4 or so down. Crassus should be able to march upon Sicily with impunity, and then the next big task is going to need to take place, as most of North Africa is under Marius and his loyalists' control, and also there is a fair few client and vassal states there. We've lost most of ours in the Far East. I gave up their security guarantees and independence. Pontus has just had a free range on them. Thankfully, cross my fingers, touch wood, that we don't have a war with Pontus soon. I've said it. That's broken habit. But yeah, I'm just still focusing every single resource, denarii, manpower on this civil war. Because once we solidify our position and bring the empire, well, I guess you can really call it an empire, because we're going to make it we're going to basically make him a dictator. We'll be able to launch other campaigns, but we'll see how we go. DEI is quite, the thing is, like, DI battles campaign, they just go so much longer. So I have to justify more time throughout my day playing this mod. I really do like DEI, but sometimes it can be an absolute slog. I know that's the appeal, but as a YouTuber that has very limited time to record stuff, it's basically just taking away from other content on the other channels and stuff. But I do quite enjoy a solid DEI campaign from time to time, and I've also got to balance my personal life as well. But yeah, once we get rid of Marius, which still might take us a fair few more parts, like, I think that first episode went for an hour, which is really good. I try to make the first episode as long as I can, but that's edited down. This will probably be somewhere between 20 to 30 minutes. That'll be edited down as well. Sometimes the loading times can be quite significant, even just some of the boring maintenance stuff. So I try to play the battles in full, but some of the construction and maintenance stuff, sometimes I'd like to build it. Like, I like to go through and just like read, because like I play so many mods, like I just forget. I simply forget. Oh yeah, what's the building strat in this again? Oh yeah, I remember this now. I have to like go back and watch like the building layouts. But I'd be curious if we can defeat Marius. I don't know how long it's going to take. Should we continue this campaign in this alternative timeline where, if we win with Sulla, that is that we go away from the Republic turning into the Augustus / Julii Claudian Republic? Will we have a Sulla dynasty? Like, that'd be quite cool. Maybe if we win, like, Gaius Julius Caesar dies, alternatively. There, from what I remember, there's a pretty cool story where, like, they were going house to house trying to find Julius Caesar. When Sulla put his lists off, but he was protected with his comrades and was able to get out of the city. Yeah, I forget that Julius was Pontiff Maximus. I love that the Pope, who's like Pontifex on Twitter, like him and Julius Caesar had the same title at one point. I just find that funny. You forget that the Vatican not only stole a bunch of shit from the Romans, even some of the titles as well. Okay, so now hopefully this can cause a mass panic and potentially a rout. But yeah, once we've got Sicily under our control, dude, trying to invade North Africa is going to be tough, and we still haven't got all of Cisalpine Gaul under our control, but even that, trying to take Massalia, I might even try and avoid it, because that can be quite difficult. If they're not because they're a client state of Marius, and we're still not at war with them. Yeah. I'm just trying to think, like, navally, moving into Iberia is going to be tough. Because Carthage is completely destroyed at this point. And most of Iberia is under their control. Okay, both sides are wavering now. But yeah, from your experience, what do you think is the strongest faction in this mod? Marius or Sulla? I would... Obviously, I haven't played a full campaign. What are we, like 30, 40 turns into this campaign? I don't know exactly. But I've played a lot more as... Okay, they're routing now, or they're done. We won. Yeah, I don't know why they just sort of threw themselves into the proverbial meat grinder. But yeah, I would say Sulla's campaign is definitely harder. I don't know. I think so. I think it's a lot easier with Marius. You have Rome, and you just have like a huge waft of territory, which is more conducive to defend, and you've got more military assets at your disposal as well. You might even arguably have better quality generals, command-wise. Obviously, Sulla has more generals that eventually become more renowned, like Crassus, Pompey, and Lepidus. But, yeah, we'll just try and run down the last of them here, and then we'll make plans and preparations to pop on over to Sicily and see what's going on. Syracuse as well might be quite difficult to take. We'll see how that goes. That can be quite a complicated city. Hopefully there's no more legions hanging around here, because this legion has been there since the start of the game. It was you could see it from like the last couple of episodes. It was baiting and feinting back and forth, looking to push, but thankfully we were quick enough. We pushed to Beneventum, took Rome, and then we held in that position, and they never actually pushed forward until quite a significant amount of time later. It was like it was calculating that it's like, oh, it was interesting because we would have hit it if it tried to cross into Taurus of Beneventum from like two sides when we had two armies there. But Crassus, once again, has won a glorious victory for Rome. And Sulla's dictatorship, ultimately. Lepidus is starting to grow in confidence as well, to some extent. Alright, let's wrap things up there. Solid victory. There's even a rebellion outside. We lost the cavalry in one unit, but overall, a decisive victory for Crassus as they attacked us during the end turn phase. Nice, solid, warm-up battle. See if we get any other developments. Nope, it seems we're in the clear. Alright, welcome to the top of the turn. We'll get Crassus to give chase. And I don't think that rebel army is going to be strong enough to go against the garrison. Want to make sure we get rid of Gaius here. A 4-star prominent commander has now fallen. Another one bites the dust for Marius. We've destroyed the army, so we'll ransom. And we'll quickly move north against the Samnite / Italian rebels that continually pop up. But they just chip away at your units and manpower as well. The rebels are a nightmare in this mod. So... okay, there's a navy there. So we should be okay. Let's get Crassus now to cross into Sicily. And we've got the money. We might as well get the mercenary unit in. And then we'll make plans and preparations to take them. We've got to watch out for that port, though. Oh, Pompey might be able to intercept. Actually, it's probably too large. Alright, back up north. What were we doing here? Oh, we were sieging, right. We withdrew because they attacked. We were chipping away at them. We've got Lepidus coming in here with more reinforcements. And we'll try and bring as many of these guys into Legion 1 now. Obviously, in the last episode, we did have a Pyrrhic victory. Most of the army was crushed. So we need to bring that in and then eventually phase out the mercenaries as well. They are quite expensive. DEI, you really don't want to... you only want to really rely on mercenaries in dire situations. You're better off having like proper Roman units if you can. But if you just need to quickly spam a bunch of units, get them in quickly. It's worth paying the money. But look at that. All of Cisalpine Gaul is under our control. Now, I'd be interested in peace. We're still not favoured to win this series. We're going to go through here now and disband some of the mercenaries. But, yeah, unfortunately, Marius, once again, isn't interested in peace. I would cease hostilities if we could, just so we can build up and repair. Alright. Oh, okay, it's not too complicated, which is good. Okay. I thought, like, the siege of Syracuse could be. Crassus has enough. The garrison isn't too strong. And I think it's because the navy's not very strong there. Because Syracuse can be an absolute nightmare to take. Particularly... Or maybe it's just me overthinking it, because quite often it's held by a Hellenic faction, and pushing against hoplites is a nightmare. We're probably going to have that situation in Massalia now. So what's going on with them? We can't get military access with them. The thing is, they haven't been drawn into this war. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Last turn I was just talking about they haven't been joined in. Now that we border them, in winter, they've declared war upon me. You gotta be kidding me, man. Alright, back down in Syracuse. Still sieging out. We're building up the navy after obviously spotting a large Marius navy. So Pompey needs to get back on the naval construction blitz, and unfortunately Massalia has come to war against us, so we'll try and take the port city. It's such a huge and strong city to take, but it's quite tough. Oh, okay. Unfortunately, we might actually lose Epidamnos to a quite large Illyrian rebellion. Oh, sheesh. Oh, that's going to complicate things. We might actually have to cede that territory to them. There's been another revolt here as well. Obviously constant as well. Because we haven't got an army over there. I've still only got 2 armies. That's all we can afford. Man. Okay, so... They haven't actually taken the regional capital. Dude, that could cause an absolute nightmare. Let's negotiate with them. They're interested in peace, because usually they are if they rebel. Well, hang on a minute. They're getting me money. If you become a client state... they're not interested in trade. But they're interested in a client state. Well, look. You can be independent. The Balkans going crazy again. Yeah, we'll give them their independent... Oh, now they want trade. Okay. Yeah, and then we'll look to take it. Look... A little bit border Gaul wise, a little bit yucky, but whatever. But I'm just trying to think, like, if they're going to take all of Illyria with that full stack, and they might, more importantly, threaten Pella, or Apollonia, that would be more of my concern. Got some more rebellions we're going to need to bring down as well. We've got Lepidus recruiting a 3rd legion. Sulla... We could siege it, or we could maybe move here to try and draw that army out. I want to try... Yeah, I think if we can get out of the range of that garrison, that would be ideal. Maybe if we raid, it might bait them out, potentially. So, Sulla's pushing into southern France. Hopefully we can take Massalia, modern-day Marseille. Go with a raid. Try and draw them out. And we'll get Crassus to continue the conquest of Sicily. And then eventually, I guess, we get Lepidus to focus on... Greece, if a rebellion pops up. But we'll play this one here today. We haven't had an offensive siege in quite a while. So, Crassus will have the siege of Syracuse. And we've also built up an abundance of siege equipment. I found in this submod that you do need to siege for a couple turns in some of these big and larger settlements. So we've got 2 battering rams. Sorry, so 2 siege towers, 1 battering ram, 2 ladders. And we'll fight this one. Syracuse, pretty cool settlement. Obviously, culturally significant in the Punic Wars. Siding with Carthage. Being fiercely independent thanks to the aid of Pyrrhus of Epirus. But now if we can take it, it'll just be a vital supply lane with trade. And to be fair, at the moment we've been housing Sulla's royal fleet with Pompey in Taurus. It's like the strategical best place. But if you can get a full navy, potentially even a second, hold it in Syracuse. It's the heart of the Mediterranean. You can dominate trade. You can throw back any pirates. And stop any naval invasions into Greece and southern Italy, potentially. So we're moving on up. Crassus has destroyed a full sack here today. And now he can hopefully gain fame and infamy in an offensive siege. Once Sicily's fallen under our control, I'll always be able to try and sue for peace with Marius if he's ever going to accept. I just think the relations are just seriously too soured. Unfortunately. But hey, the battering ram's now here. Let's try and break it down. We've got one of the weaker units just sort of taking the bait. The siege tower has been deployed. And the ladders are not too far away. Because we've been sieging for quite some time, we've actually managed to destroy one of the arrow towers. Oh! What's this? There's a hole in the wall. Oh, okay. Is this settlement bugged? Oh, okay. From that side it is. On this other side we're fine. Still trying to capture the gateway here and get on in. But then we've got Carthage to potentially take after this. And then... oh my god. Brutal warfare going on the wall here. Just shows the... oh my god. Titus Pullo going to town. You can just see like the massive equipment and armor dividing class between just some skirmishers there. And a proper well-equipped, battle-hardened legionnaire. Okay, the gateway is now opened, so let's send our boys on in. And then, yeah, we'll get Sulla to once we take Massalia, which will be easier said than done. Yeah, if we can bait the army out, it should be okay. You never know, they might have another army. The garrison is quite big, you would imagine. And, look, it's Massalia, like, instead of, like, for example, if this entire roster inside this was replaced with hoplites, on this difficulty, it'd nearly be nigh impossible to push on in. It'd be quite difficult. I always do fear offensively fighting siege battles with Greek or some sort of hoplite in. Yeah, I might need to submit a report here because some of the siege equipment is not going to work in those jutted areas. Okay. Well, you can't say you didn't learn anything from a CMC video. The siege of Syracuse is bugged a little bit on that side of the wall. Don't know why. But hey, please take into consideration as well that at the end of the day, this is still a beta. It's version 1.3.2 of DEI. However, the Mithridatic Wars as a pack is still in beta. So, I haven't read the bug notes for this, but that could be potentially it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you'd nearly be better off auto-resolving it then, or just moving to the other side. It's not that big of a deal. Alright, we're doing like well better over there because we're actually able to deploy. And what we'll do, once we win on this gateway, we'll swing on in and hopefully try and secure these capture points. Oh my god. A bunch of meat there in the gateway. Wow. I guess we are dragging forces, but we're not really pushing through there. Overall, we're not sustaining too much casualties. That one unit there, the lightly armoured one, is understandable. Two of the legionaries not too good. Balance of power is still in our favour. We're ticking along alright. Pushing over on that left-hand side a bit better. Let's drop and inspire and rally. Might even move the general up slightly to get some bonuses. Fighting over here, fine. But so far, we're winning quite convincingly on the battlefield. We're destroying legions left, right, and center. We're taking ground and we're holding it. However, we are like losing units, which can come as a bit of a cost. Thankfully, We're seriously only fighting on a one front. Apart from that rebellion in Illyria, which I think we've been quite lucky. Like, it's like I'm surprised they actually accept, because if they said no, Rome, they could have taken all of Illyria, maybe even taken some more chunks in Greece. That was really, really bad, that full stack. But that's what you got to keep an eye on. You got to sort of pick and choose your battles. Something I'd highly recommend for this campaign is try not to become treacherous. Try and keep your relations with other nations. Don't try and break them. Try and be trustworthy. Because what can happen when you're treacherous is that they can really gang up on you. Thankfully, you're not at war with too many factions either. And yeah, I don't see the bonuses unless you're like role-playing of helping those vassals in the Far East. Because like, look, they're paying me some money, yeah, but I'm not going to fight for Bithynia's independence. Look, later on it might be quite hard when we go against Pontus eventually, but that's still a little bit far off. But thankfully, we're not dealing with a war against them. Yeah, I actually don't know. I actually don't know how you win a war against Pontus and Marius at the same time. I guess you got to pick. Because, like, the further you go east, you're fighting potentially Seleucids and Egyptians and stuff. Be tough. But depending on your guys' support, I don't know how well this series is going to do overall, but I do think it'd be kind of cool doing a Roman like Empire campaign, for example. Building the Roman Empire in this alternative timeline, having a imperial empire line of not like Nero and Augustus, Octavian, and just like having like a completely different imperial line from the descendants of Sulla. I think that would be kind of cool. And then try and build the Roman Empire to its historical height. Because I don't think if we win and we crush Marius, although Sulla retired and then it was like, you know what, I'm going to hang out on my farm until I die. I think we'll just go, yeah, we're going to make a imperial line from now on. I think it'd be kind of cool. Also, I wonder if there's a mod to like change as well the color. The blue actually doesn't look too bad though. Yeah, I'd be curious to know what you guys are playing. Maybe playing as Sulla isn't the more popular choice. I don't know. When I heard that like there was a Sulla versus Marius pick, I just instantly gravitated to Sulla. Even though Romans are red, I get that. Maybe it's the alternative timeline stuff that I'm interested in. I do quite like that type of stuff. I did like Man in the High Castle. People really didn't like that show. But it's slow. I'm not gonna lie, but I definitely liked it. I like the character and the characterization and sort of complex nature of John Smith. I'm not the biggest fan of the character Juliana Crane, but she, like, some people just couldn't stand her. But it wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. I was just like, I was kind of meh about it. There are a lot more interesting characters though in that show than others. Alright. So just need to make sure that doesn't get into the area. We've kind of bamboozled them a bit here because we're going to win on the countdown. We have sent a lot of soldiers to their death, unfortunately, but... Well, speaking of Man in the High Castle... No way! That looks like something. Oh my god. What are the chances of that? I've bamboozled myself there. What? It's a Hindu symbol. Don't worry. All right. Should be able to wrap things up soon. Yeah. Unless I make a mad dash here. No. GG's. Syracuse is now under Sulla occupation. Well, Crassus, but our faction. Okay, wars-wise, Crassus is currently still fighting in Sicily, trying to dominate and control the entirety of the island. He's already taken Syracuse. We're going to use that as a naval base so we can dominate the Mediterranean. Pompey's eventually going to get down there. And once we take all of Sicily, we can use it as a staging ground to actually get into North Africa. Lepidus is currently in Cisalpine Gaul, trying to put down some of the tribes from the Po Valley and bring in more legionaries. Sulla is going to try and siege out Massalia. We were raiding there for quite some time, trying to draw them out, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do that, so we'll try and starve them out. Okay, during the end turn phase here, we've actually had a little bit of a complication. That navy that we saw in the last episode has actually attacked Syracuse now, which is annoying. We've just left. The garrison is weak, and they're probably going to take it. But it actually might not be too bad, because we might be able to crush the navy, because we kind of baited them in, which is quite funny. Oh, and Massalia has attacked. Oh, jeez. This is like a 10,000 man battle. This is massive. Alright, well, we'll fight this one against Massalia. Let's go. A lot of hoplites, so at least we've got that to our advantage. Oh, looking at the topography of this battlefield as well. This is perfect. Perfect for us. First of all, nice and hilly. We've got the high ground. The terrain's a little bit shocking as well. Triple axis formation. We'll move into a position that we can hold. Looking at the army build for this one. Mostly legionnaires and infantry. I don't have any archers or skirmishers because I did kind of assume that it was probably going to go into a long protracted siege potentially, but now they've come out against us, so it's kind of bitten us a little bit. But we should be okay. We're currently still not favoured in the balance of power because I guess they still have some military forces in potentially North Africa, maybe even far Iberia. Marius has moved a lot of his legions into Italy and Cisalpine Gaul. We crushed, obviously, a legion in Sicily in the last episode. Now our navy's come on in, and we've crushed, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 now, off the top of my head. Now that Massalia's in the conflict, that's going to complicate things, as they've got a full stack and a garrison here now. I was trying, because they declared war upon us, I was nearly tempted to not deal with them, because, like, obviously Massalia is quite a decent settlement to take, but it's just so costly. There's a full stack in there, and there's a garrison, so hopefully we can be successful here today. We're going to try and hold, we'll try and wrap around and flank where we can, try and skirmish them as well, and we'll go with hammer and ambush strikes with our cavalry. But if we can hold in our formation, we should be fine, as they're just not going to have that offensive thrust. Like, they're not going to have that really high attack damage and offensive capabilities because they've got so many hoplites. We should be able to withstand any skirmisher fire, but we'll see how we go in this one, eh? So I thought we'd talk about Massalia, modern day Marseille, here today, because it's quite an interesting city and settlement, and it's actually a really quite cool faction to play as in Total War Rome 2. It's obviously a Hellenic Greek colony in southern France, so you can really try and conquer Gaul. Maybe I should do a Massalia campaign. It's been a while. I just really like it as a faction because there's multiple paths you can go down. You can obviously potentially go into Italy and throw out the Romans and establish a Hellenic sphere of influence separate from Greece and potentially Sicily, or you could go into Iberia, maybe even make a Hellenic Gaul. I think it's quite cool. So Massalia, known as Marseille in the modern day, was a prosperous Greek city-state located on the coast of modern-day southern France. It was founded in the 6th century BC by Greek settlers and became one of the most important trading centres in the western Mediterranean. The city was known for its wealth, prosperity, and cultural diversity. And obviously, as a Greek city-state, it was a valuable maritime trade hub and was valued for its commerce and Greek ideas. Over the centuries, Massalia maintained its independence and autonomy, despite the attempts of various conquerors and empires to control it. During the Roman Republic, Massalia became a major ally of Rome and was granted special privileges and protections in its return for its support. We will be doing no such thing. We're going to be subjugating it if we're successful in winning this battle here today and then eventually taking the city. The city continued to trade and thrive through the Roman Empire as its population grew. Merchants, traders, and artisans flocked to the city to gain advantage of its prosperous economy. Moving now to the little bit far future compared to this campaign. In the 4th century, Massalia was sacked by the Visigoths and underwent an unfortunate period of decline. However, the city was eventually rebuilt and continued to thrive as an important trading hub through the Middle Ages. In the 16th century now, Massalia became a part of the Kingdom of France and was renamed Marseille. Despite the challenges posed by the war, revolution, and the economic upheaval, Marseille remained a prosperous and dynamic city and continues to be one of the most important ports in France. The legacy of Massalia/Marseille modern day is one of resilience, prosperity, and cultural diversity. The city has a rich history and has played a significant role in the shaping of Mediterranean history and European. Today, Marseille is a bustling modern city that continues to celebrate its rich culture, heritage, and long storied history, and it's a place I would highly recommend checking out. It's a really, really cool city. Right on the southern coast of France there, where there on my European gap year back in the day. So I would recommend it. The food is off the charts. Alright, back to the battlefield now. We seem to be holding mostly. On that right-hand side, we've just got some legionnaires just sitting there, twiddling their thumbs, with their hands in their pockets, not doing too much. This cavalry's doing a work on their archers. We might actually be able to open a front here. It's this terrain that is really, really helping us. I wonder if this was a nice, flat battlefield, would we be in this position? So thankfully they're trickling in a bit slower. My cavalry is absolutely stuffed there. They're exhausted. But we have managed to focus on their skirmishes quite well. Our peel is doing alright. Let's rotate there. There we go. Oh, wow. They just crushed that cavalry unit. I'm surprised. Because sometimes the Massalian cavalry can be quite strong, because it's usually... Well, the thing is, it's like a Hellenic faction, but it's also got a hybrid, like, barbarian/Gaul roster as well to some extent. And... the Gauls thrive with their, like, oath sworn, like, their superior, like, tier 3 swordsmen. Like, they can go up against some of the best legionnaires, especially when their abilities are put on down. But their cavalry is quite exceptional. That's about it for the barbarians. They're not that good otherwise. I don't know. I just don't tend to find the barbarian faction that interesting. Maybe because they're, pretty the same. A little bit copy and paste in Rome too. Yeah, probably like, maybe not so much in DEI, but like, I feel like the barbarian factions are definitely the less worked on. I don't know. I just prefer playing as the Romans, S tier, and maybe like any Greek state, A tier. I'm a man of culture, if you know what I mean. Alright, let's swing around here. We're doing so well, just pinning them down. They are not taking an inch of territory here from us. We've also got a baggage train back there. Now, is it still worth having them? Because I sometimes see, like, other people's campaigns, just like they don't use them that much. I tend to use them. I think it's because I'm still stuck in my ways. Like, you do... maybe that's not that good for us. That's a solid charge there, though. Because we haven't got that much skirmishers / archers, because so we're not needing just like the resupply quickly and the accuracy. I think it's just because way back in the day when I played DEI when it came out, 2015, 16. I remember playing it a lot back then. Like the no, dude, it might have been. Oh no, probably sounds about maybe 14. Can't remember exactly. Only 10 years ago, crikey. More 8, 9. Anyway, supply. That was the thing. Supply was a massive issue. Like, you really couldn't campaign far, way back in the day, without baggage supply. So, maybe I'm a little bit set in my ways on that. Anyway, we're slowly but surely swinging around here. But they seem to be thrown back. 50... it's going back and forth here. Oh, nice. Yeah, and just like slowly but surely, incrementally, keep on moving up and we'll be fine. I think we're going to win this one, because we're just going to be able to surround them and get the encirclement bonus. Their morale is going to drop. And then hopefully we can take Massalia. But the thing is, Sulla, like, taking settlements so far in this series, he's just lost a lot of men. Maybe he's being hyper aggressive. Maybe because Crassus is just like fighting weaker armies, it seems to be. But so far, you got to give it to Massalia. Once again, being fiercely independent. Fighting to the absolute bitter end. Alright, let's give out some attack orders now. Swing this around. Nice. And then we just want to try and run down as many of them as we can. Come on. Yeah, like, look at that. Like, I'm just looking at the battlefield there. It's like literally a choke point. That valley there. Just the high ground. We've obviously got the defense. We can just like they don't have the offensive capabilities. Oh, nice. Look at that. Let's give out some attack orders and try and run down as many of them as possible. Sulla has won a glorious victory here today. And then, hopefully in doing so, has captured Massalia. Which is kind of massive. We can use this as a supply hub. Narbo. Maybe Bertigala, potentially. Maybe some more territory in France is under Marius control. But we'll see. But anyway, we can use it as a launching pad. A logistics hub. To recruit more. And then launch an offensive into the Iberian Peninsula. Look at this. The Roman cavalry is going to have an absolute field day. That was a 12,000 man battle. It's definitely over 10,000. Outnumbered 2-1. They came out and offensively hit. We were not favoured to win this one. Looking at the balance of power whatsoever. And Sulla's going to win a big W. Need to get those command points up nice and high. To be fair, I think Crassus might actually have a bigger command rating. Technically. Because he's just fought more. You can tend to farm battles in Rome too to some extent. But I think that's probably it. I don't know if we're going to be able to catch this unit. Because this my cavalry's so exhausted, man. You can just see this is a really good example of fatigue and exhaustion in DEI Divide et Impera. Like, towards the last little bits of this battle, like, they can barely even run. They can barely even outrun infantry, this cavalry. Alright. Close battle, whatever you reckon. In the winter as well, probably didn't help. Fighting in the slush and snow. So, 2,500 got captured. That's quite a lot. We'll make sure we get rid of them, so they don't run back into the city too much. We'll attend. And they've actually... Okay. Oh my god. You're kidding me. Can we get some mercenaries? Like, even after we won, at the top of the turn now, we're still, like, you look at the best odds. The remaining force is kind of stuffed. We might have to deal with that rebellion there in Batavium. They're raiding the glasswares. Even though there's only 6 units there, the garrison coming in should be fine. Alright, back down in the south. Still trying to take Sicily. And yeah, it's Syracuse has been retaken, so we'll wait. So the main thing was trying to catch the navy. More annoying than anything. Had to retreat from Aggregas. Let's put a supply pit there. I think that changed, didn't it? Alright, let's get Pompey down here. I probably should have, in hindsight, moved the navy down there earlier, but maybe we would have got crushed, so maybe not. Alright, still dealing with these rebels in Cisalpine Gaul. Okay. They're actually a little bit depleted. So yeah, we're still sieging out in Massalia. Do we take the orders off? Oh my god. Now it's going to be Pyrrhic. We only got 57%. It is risky diminishing your forces that much, but we should be fine. We're just going to need to replenish and repair in Massalia. We might be able to take Narbo, which... Oh! That complicates things. There's a full stack in the north. Yikes. That's pretty bad. Oh, it's a full stack as well. It's their new leader. They actually might straight up beeline to us. Ooh. Maybe if it turns into a defensive siege, potentially. Anyway, the Arverni border us, so we're going to be able to trade with them. Yeah, if we can get amicable relations with the Gauls, it's probably not a bad idea. They kind of hate Massalia anyway, so that's probably why we've got some semblance of at least neutral relations. Who are these guys? These guys have popped up in the Balkans here. Let's try and trade with them. Yeah, I wonder what's sort of going on in the Far East and north of the Danube. What wildness is going on out there in barbarian lands? Okay, the Gaetuli are interested in trade. Interesting. It's because we've opened up Syracuse, I guess, as a trade lane. Oh, and in doing so, we might be able to get trade with the far Iberian factions, sort of being fiercely independent against Marius, I guess. I could sail around and trade with Britannia and Egypt and stuff. Actually, Egypt might actually declare war upon me. Why was the attrition rate so high for these guys? That's kind of crazy. Like, we're actually going to win this one with Lepidus. Without the garrison coming on in, which is interesting. I don't know. It's a little bit cheesy. Going around getting trade. Maybe not. I don't know. It is a little bit weird, like, trading with Britain when we don't even know they exist really up there. I don't know. Anyway, that's been crushed. Okay, so hopefully we can hold Syracuse now. That's been a little bit of a meat grinder. Alright, let's push to Aggregas, and this time around, hopefully bring it under occupation. But that's DEI, man. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. It's not as easy as, like in vanilla Rome 2, you can just, like, steamroll a province like Sicily and essentially auto-resolve it. Obviously in DEI, it's hard fought. Okay, the Navy's now back. And we're definitely going to auto-resolve this one. Hopefully that's the end of Marius's Navy. But interesting that they've focused a decent amount of investment on it. In the sense that, well, they've lost countless legions. Why not go for the naval supremacy? Because we can't, sure, afford to be on that front. Ah, military alliance with the Gaetuli. Interesting. Well, they do hold Tingis. I'm actually going to accept. Okay, and let's now get Crassus to hopefully bring all of Sicily under our control. And I've actually skipped a little bit ahead here. We've moved Lepidus down. And a clear-cut auto-resolve. All of Sicily is now under our control. That's what I love about DEI. Always really hard fought. We've also got another army that's been there in Pella, not really doing too much. I eventually want to try and throw... Oh, there's nearly 2 stacks. That was the army there because we just had a little bit of spare money. Also, we needed to repair in Massalia. I don't know what happened to that full stack in the end. It seemed to have been taken out by the Gauls or disappears. It never actually attacked Massalia, which is weird. So we're going to push into Narbo, and we're going to try and hold this. We're going to open up another trade lane, and we're going to make plans and preparations for now Sulla to hopefully invade Iberia. And the Volcae are just here, so let's get some semblance of a trade agreement. That would be ideal. The more trade we can get, the better. Seems to work instead of just straight non-aggression packs. Oh, you've got to be kidding me, man. We've only, like, just taken this territory, and another legion has come out of nowhere. My god, how many legions does he have? This could be bad, because we lost a decent amount of forces taking Narbo there. We might have to flee back to Massalia. We're going to deal with the consequences of this. Well, it's probably time to wrap things up here today anyway, and we'll deal with this at the start of the next episode. Sulla, once again, potentially could be at the back foot. We're definitely probably going to lose Narbo. Here today, we are dealing with the retreat of Sulla at Narbo. We managed to take Massalia, but at a heavy loss. We managed to push against Narbo, but unfortunately, a legion is given chase. So we're going to have to fall back to Massalia. Thankfully, things are doing a little bit better down in Sicily. Crassus has been tasked to retake Carthage and bring it under our control. So far, we still have most of Greece. The Italian peninsula now fully under our control. We've got another stack down in Syracuse itself. And it's probably not a bad idea to get another army here in Macedonia. I would like to eventually take that province we lost in Illyria. We had to secede some territory and vassalize them, which is annoying. We had to give the client state its independence, and it's actually spawned 2 decent stacks. I'm actually surprised it hasn't happened a little bit quite often, that we've sort of had to have various regional autonomy zones. But overall, thankfully, we were sort of able to stabilize some of the territory in and around Greece and in the Balkans and Illyria and stuff. We sort of forego sort of the far eastern vassalized territory. They got taken out by Pontus. Okay, so we've actually got a little bit of cash. It's probably not a bad idea to get some dignitaries. I always forget to get them. They're always good. You got the money. Okay, well, I guess we're going to have the Siege of Carthage here today. Pompey is going to drop off his big pal and buddy Crassus, and we've only got 2 ladders. Is that enough? It's only a garrison, and there's a small navy there, which will disembark. We've obviously got our own navy as well. Look, you know what? We'll kick things off with the Siege of Carthage here today, and then we'll go back to Sulla's situation. Whatever happens to that full stack, we might have to attack it, or they could attack us. Alrighty. Welcome to the battle for Carthage. Now, we've only got 1 ladder each side, which is a little bit annoying. Oh, okay. I didn't comprehend as well. This either is a small settlement of Carthage. This is like the exact same blueprint of the city. What was it? Oh, when we attacked Syracuse. So this isn't a custom settlement as it should be. Interesting. Maybe that's yet to be put into this beta. Nevertheless, we're going to be able to sail up what would be the harbour. And that's a little bit annoying. Looks like we only can go 2 ships at a time. And we'll give out some attack orders there. Definitely auto-resolvable, but come on. We're playing as Rome. You can't not play the Siege of Carthage if you get the opportunity. To be fair, I was thinking it would be a custom settlement, because I always like playing the Siege of Carthage, like, especially with the huge naval drum. That's a bit of a shame. We've also got some crossbow units, which is a little bit different. First time seeing these guys deployed upon the field of battle. We were able to get crossbow units thanks to conquering Syracuse and Sicily. I do quite like the rework of the arrows and archers. It looks like they pack more of a punch. It looks cool. I know it's a little bit controversial. It's more so like a Warhammer thing. It's the arrow trails. I actually don't mind them too much. You can, like, I would rather a visual indicator of like a volley of arrows with white rather than like zooming on in. I don't know. It's personal preference, I suppose. We've got to deal with this naval units being disembarked in. Okay, so there is a Scorpion there and some equipment. Doesn't seem to be firing to too much effect. It's just the arrow towers that could engulf the ships. So, unfortunately, going in three-pronged at a time, which will complicate things. The ladder is now here. Now, it's going to be a difficult siege, as we're only going to get funneled in slightly. Oh, even this wall is bugged as well. Maybe. Slightly. Nowhere near as much as the siege in Syracuse. But definitely favoured to win this one, even with the limited amount of siege equipment. We were more favoured to auto-resolve this one on the campaign map, but I can't see us losing this one. Especially now that we've got Marines about to deploy within the city itself. So technically going with the three-pronged attack. We actually might have better with the amphibious assault here in Carthage, as our legionaries have disembarked and the veterans are going to try and make a play to get the capture points. Alright, there's going to be a second front here, maybe even a little bit of a skirmish on the outer temple. So we'll quickly try and take the high ground here. They're going to try and swing around and stop us from getting that siege equipment attached to the ladder. Attached to the ladder? Attached to the wall. The ladder attached to the wall. I don't know why that's so weird. Alright, let's continue on in. Okay. We're pushing on this side of the wall now. And we'll give out some attack orders. Hopefully we can seize the gateway quickly. And fierce fighting is now breaking out on the wall. Nice. Gaining some ground. And we're also inside the settlement as well. I'm curious to see how they react. There's a small couple units coming in from the naval disembarkment, but hopefully we can give out some attack orders here. Interesting that they didn't throw everyone in. Oh my god, that's a venomous volley there with the high ground. Because you think the more units they can get in, the better to defend. But so far, just skirmishing Peeler back and forth at the moment. Oh, interesting, a unit's come out here. Hang on, bear with me. They're out of ammunition, they need to pull back. And let's give out some attack orders now. Oh, they're hitting me from the side there. That's a little bit dangerous. Okay, and looks like we're going to win this skirmish on the outside, which should free up some units so we can push on in. Nice high ground charge there. And the legionaries are having an absolute field day, carving up the naval combatants that disembarked. Oh, what? Oh, welcome back, guys. Unfortunately, we had a game crash. You gotta be kidding me. Which is super annoying. Yeah, maybe it's that settlement. Like, it's not Carthage. It's not custom. Oh, that's infuriating. So we're just going to have to auto-resolve it. Numidia potentially are open for a peace agreement, as we now border them now that we have Carthage. Shame that happened, but happens sometimes. It is still a beta and a work in progress. That's a lot of money. I'm surprised we're actually going to be able to get that much out of them. They're interested in trade as well. Maybe they're potentially interested in switching sides. They knew what happened to the last client state of Sulla. It was occupied by us, that being Massalia in the last episode. But they might be willing to switch sides, which is good. Good old Jugurtha. Who is you? Military access. I suppose you're at war with them. Whatever. Okay, so Crassus now can move to Thapsus. Pompey is already sailed south. And we have another army moving over as well. And this seems much more favourable in auto-resolve. Alright, so once we take this, hopefully we can rid them from this side of Africa. I think they still have some territory in the west near Morocco, near the Gaetuli, but we'll see, and we'll disembark you as well. Okay, so it looks like the Germantians are interested in a trade agreement plus a client state. They are at war with Numidia, so I'm interested as to why they're sort of interested in accepting that. Maybe for protection. Pushing in that deep into the desert is always really quite difficult as a Roman faction, so you are better off to do it, but I think I would accept their client status. Okay, welcome to the top of the turn. I might have stuffed up here because I might have waited just a little bit too long. They've actually besieged me here. Now, I could be a little bit cheesy and just swap out Sulla and TP him away, but if they actually attack me this turn, yeah, it's complicated things. Oh, and they've actually moved the navy there from Narbo because we fled back. I guess we fight this one and hopefully try and win it. Now, basically with that navy, that's going to come in with no resistance. We are defending, of course. We're going to be able to put some deployables. So we're going to be able to put down some semblance of a barricade, put our archers behind it, and we're going to be able to put some caltrops down and some, I guess like modern day they're called like dragon teeth, aren't they? To stop them coming in. That's what's got, this is going to act as, and we've got some units there holding, but we'll move this navy to try and distract and throw them back, but yeah, this is going to be a tough one. If we lose this one here today, potentially Sulla's going to be injured and the campaign in the south is going to be delayed, or he could be, well, killed. A lot of siege equipment coming on in. Not favoured to win this one. 70% on our favour, but we've won a lot like this, and I didn't even get to see it there. The ship just got instantly crushed by the navy, and they're going to try and roll on in. Oh, you never know, they might actually not go for that beachhead now that we've fortified it a bit. Alright, let's swing around our cavalry and try and put some pressure on them. But yeah, I think it's just Sulla. The thing is, like, every push we've done, if it's Cisalpine Gaul, even into Massalia, we've just been taking mass casualties. Maybe it's just easier in the south, just because there's been less of a build-up of garrisons and maybe even armies to some extent. We do have reinforcements coming, but that's what I was just sort of waiting for. It's just like, we took a lot of damage in Massalia. We won, and then we pushed to Narbo. It's annoying that, like, we destroyed the 2 full stacks in Cisalpine Gaul. Then we went to Massalia, then there was 1 in there, and the garrison. And then as soon as we go to Narbo, there's a 3rd. They just have so many legions. And if we beat this one, this will be 6. Even though we're still only operating with 2, probably 3 really, but like 2.5 properly fit. You're just so outnumbered in this mod, it's kind of crazy. Alright, they've made their way to the walls, and they're going to throw everyone in. We haven't actually fought Marius on the field of battle either. We've managed to take out a lot of his high-ranking officials and generals. but still a lot of good commanders in their ranks that are more than capable of leading a legion. Alright, the cavalry there didn't do too well. So let's just try and hold them here. And looking in the bottom right in the radar, still undecided where those ships are coming in. Just still keeping an eye on that. We just need to try and hold and try not to give up any ground, an inch of ground, and try and get our arrow towers to rain fire and death upon the enemy. But yeah. Ugh, I just thought I could hold Massalia. Like, you'd think, like, if we fled from we fled from Narbo, we kept on fleeing back, Massalia we should be able to defend. Got my archers there on the left flank. They don't seem to be taking the gateway. We probably got a bonus fighting on the wall, so let's try and throw some of these guys on here. But at the moment, we're holding for now. Let's slowly, incrementally move Sulla forward just to help out morale-wise. Okay. For now, we're holding them on the walls. We are wavering here and there, but guys are a little bit exhausted. Alright, let's speed things up. The longer this battle goes on, the more winnable it is. And now that they're gaining some ground, let's try and plug up those gaps. We seem to be not doing too good on that left-hand side. However, we're doing better on the right there. And the Navy hasn't come in just yet, but it is dragging one archer unit and a handful of legionaries on the beach there away from the wall assault. Unfortunately, the cavalry didn't do too well. I would have liked to do it a bit. I would have liked them to do a bit better. But these legionaries are just absolutely exhausted. Okay, now this might be a problem because they've actually come down from the wall. Although the indicator of a unit banner isn't there, we might still have some forces up there, but this is not good whatsoever. We're going to try and throw down some inspires and rallies and morale buffs. Tactically, nothing really crazily is going on. We're just sort of grinding and battling things out. Oh, I didn't fully comprehend that there was a navy there as well. That's really changed things. Just trying to concentrate here. It's just a shame. We got trapped in a corner. Backed into a corner like a rat. I think we might straight up lose this. No. Oh, the amphibious assault has now happened. They've landed on the beach. They've actually softened this up quite a bit. I wonder if those stakes did anything. Oh no, they've skirmished quite well. It's kind of cool. This defensive setup, I suppose. But, yeah. If we can't definitely hold this beach, it's a GG. They're going to flank and then take the capture point. Oh no. I think this might be the end, boys. Oh no. This might be the end of Sulla. Because generals are mortal in this, aren't they not? You can do everything right and still lose. In the sense of, we started this campaign taking Rome successfully, crushing the legions in Italy. We crushed 2 legions in Cisalpine Gaul. We pushed over to Massalia, kept on going. We won there, which was kind of tough. With a 12,000 man battle, outnumbered 2-1, crushed them. Kept on going. Another Legion rocks up. We've been on like a 4 or 5 Legion, well, not Legion, just army crushing streak with Sulla. We overextend into Narbo, and then as soon as we get there, we take some losses, and then the Legion comes. I just guess I should have kept on running. I could have cheated. I know there's a way that you could have got him out of there. For example, you could have just switched it to some random general and sacrificed him. I am holding out hope that he might be injured, though. Okay. Damn, man. I guess we just waited too long. Sometimes you should have zigged when you should have zagged. Oh, he's been charged here, Sulla. Although we're ultimately winning the war, but Sulla might lose the battle here. As they charge on in. There's just too many of them. Sulla fighting to the absolute bitter end. I still hold out hope that he just might be severely injured and he will be sent back and have to convalesce in Rome. Alright, let's speed things up. I don't know what I could have done differently here. I just avoid this battle to begin with. Maybe not fight on the wall, sacrifice and pull back. To be fair, we even lost the battle of Mediolanum, didn't we? But we were only able to come back with mercenaries. Oh no. Nah, it's it. It's GG's. Close defeat. What's going to happen? Outnumbered 2-1. Sulla, 7-star commander. Close defeat. During the end turn phase. What's gonna happen, fellas? What are your predictions? In the comments. I guess they're just gonna take Massalia. Oh, what would be annoying is if they actually re-puppet it, I guess. Yeah. I guess that's the GG's. Oh no. That doesn't look like a flesh wound. Oh no. A noble death. Yikes. Oh jeez. Oh no. What's gonna happen? Oh, you're kidding me. Lucius Cornelius Sulla is dead. Big rip in the comments, guys. And we've got a new leader. Marcus Lepidus has stepped up. The faction has been ripped apart. And he still has a son, though, which is good. But, unfortunately, 57. To be fair, he died when he was 60. In this alternative timeline, Sulla didn't die on a farm. He died doing what he loved. Protecting French territory in Massalia. We'll adopt you in. Scapula. And, yeah, so Lepidus is now the leader of the faction. I guess he outranked Crassus and Pompey. You nearly give it to Crassus, to be honest. Now, I'm curious, now with Sulla dead, can we negotiate with Marius in good faith? Just for a little bit of peace, because that's going to really destabilize us as a faction. More or less, just because of war weariness. There should have been phases in this campaign where we should have had peace to some extent. We do eventually want to try and defeat the Loyalists, now that Sulla is dead. To be fair, he's probably going to die anyway at some point. Only a couple of years off, because this war's gone on for so long. Or maybe we could say, hey, Marius, would you like your Western Roman territory in your own right? I don't think so. I want to take it. Okay, well, Legion 1 defeated. Legion 2 is going to try and protect Cisalpine Gaul. And Scapula, a new general, new claim to fame. He can go there. However, we've still got a lot of renowned generals. Still going to, I guess, fight for the new triumvirate, which is Lepidus, Crassus, and Pompey. And now we're in the dictatorship of Marcus Lepidus, which is kind of cool. So we're going to try and continue with this conquest of North Africa still. We're still actively at war. But shocks have reverberated around the empire. Yeah, so be warned. If you lose Marius or you lose Sulla, that's it. I'm curious. I'm kind of excited to see where this campaign goes, to be honest. Yeah. Sulla defeated. Oh, during the intern phase, Marius has actually offered us peace. So he does have a little bit... actually a little bit in Cyrenaica there, in Libya. Okay. So we'll accept that just for a little bit of... just to give us a breather. They're gonna eventually declare war on us again, you'd imagine. Oh my god, that's a massive Carthaginian army that's rocked up there. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess they wanted peace because we've got a new faction leader, because that can happen sometimes. Oh no, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, what? Sulla's only son has died. Oh no, maybe that was the deal. Marius with peace, but we just have to get rid of someone. Oh no. I don't know what's going on with the family tree, because a lot of these are dying, which is not optimal. Well, they want a non-aggression pact? No. Yeah, because sometimes it's worth... I think this is a general rule for Total War. If you're at war with a faction and your faction leader dies, it is worth negotiating for potentially peace, because I think it does sometimes re-roll. Like, even in Medieval 2, when your faction leader dies, you're re-brought back into... what's when you're not excommunicated anymore? Reconciled? Yeah, that's it. Recommunicated? I didn't know what to say. Even that happens quite a bit. Okay, yeah, because I guess, like, Marius is not negotiating with Lepidus now. Well, we've crushed this Carthaginian uprising, I suppose. Well, now that we're in a time of peace, I do want to try and run down Marius for what he did to Sulla. Yeah. We're going to invest into our newly acquired lands and make plans and preparations to rebuild. Maybe also just having a bit of a breather and a bit of a break, because these active wars have sort of drowned us down quite a bit. So this is how things are standing at the moment. We've still got our puppets actually in Ting, or it actually stops our vassals from attacking them as well, potentially. And then we've also got to watch out for the Optimates and various other political parties within our own faction as well, because they've still got a little bit of territory in North Africa onto the left-hand right-hand side of us, but mostly in Iberia as well. And Pontus is growing quite big. We haven't even fought them just yet. So on that note, it's probably time to wrap things up here. Man, some massive changes in this campaign. I am tempted to do more episodes, but we could also use it as an off-ramp as well. They've got peace and forged their own little kingdom, but Marius is still yet to be brought to justice. Rome is fully under our control and is divided with power between Crassus, Pompey, and now the dictator, Marcus Lepidus. Also, I am kind of tempted to get vengeance for Sulla now and his son. However, he does have a biological daughter still. So Sulla unfortunately died in the Battle of Massalia. Now Lepidus rules Sulla's Roman faction. So still a lot of Iberia, a little bit of southern France as well we're going to have to deal with. So we're at a bit of a time of peace. We're rebuilding back up, ready to go to war once again with Marius. Now, there was an Illyrian pirate tribe that took some territory from me. And it was quite bad, actually. They managed to spawn 2 full stacks. So, we've actually got an opportunity here. For some reason, I think they must have a co-war target set, but I never called it, on the Numidians. So, for some reason, they sailed out into the open water here. And we're going to use this as an opportunity to sink the fleet. We're going to be able to get Pompey Magnus here to destroy 1 full stack. And then, if he's got enough movement range, we might be able to hit the other as well. And then hopefully all of Illyria will be firmly back in our control. Marius was somewhat sympathetic to Sulla's death and allowed a peace treaty to go on for a fair few years, which is going to allow us to obviously rebuild up, get into a better position to finish the Civil War. So unfortunately we didn't have enough movement to run down the last naval unit here, but Pompey at the top of the next turn is going to have enough to sink it. And I feel a little bit bad for these Illyrian pirates. They rebelled. They essentially wanted to be a regional autonomous state in the Roman, I'm going to say republic, but it's more of an empire now. Lepidus is ruling as a dictator, essentially. A Roman figure. Okay, he's essentially the emperor figurehead. That's what we're sort of role-playing as. If you want to get technical, we haven't switched over to a republic to an empire just yet, but I actually think the republic bonuses are actually better. Changing to an empire is quite expensive and does have a lot of political upheaval. Because here is the family tree, Scapula, and a couple of others. I wish a little bit earlier on I should have brought them in, but it's a little bit too late. I will send you to try and get some good relations with Marius at least. Trade agreement with Pontus broken. That's unfortunate. We've actually had some sort of decent relations with them. Edict cancelled. Oh, okay. We've had a minor civil war. What's this? Senate secessionists. Okay. Well, that's annoying. We're going to have to deal with them. Oh, because trade was coming out of this. Oh, I did not expect that whatsoever. Is that because of my act of treachery I just did, potentially? I am untrustworthy, which is understandable. But we've got our own civil war. So, 56. It was only a matter of time that was going to happen at some point into the campaign. Alright. So we've had a small fracturing. I'm surprised Pompey nor Crassus were one of the two. Alright, we should be able to deal with this. We do have an army in the vicinity. Thankfully, none of the legions were stolen, because that can happen sometimes. Alright, let's send Pompey to Apollonia to put down this rebellion. And let's get some legionaries on the border. And let's repair the settlement there. Now, Scapula was going to Cisalpine Gaul, because we are putting down the plans and preparations to eventually go to war. We've currently got, what, 3.5 stacks, which is nothing too crazy. Marius probably still has more legions, which is quite a bit, but Macedonia rebelled. There's even like a rebellion in the north of Dacia there. It's a little bit south of what Dacia is. It's just like right on the Danube there. It's more in the Balkans. Okay, well we might look to do that. We still have an uneasy peace, and here are the other political factions. That's annoying that that's happened. Oh, okay. One of the Celtic tribes in, yeah, what was the race, has declared war. That's annoying because, oh, that could be really, really costly. If they somehow take Pella, we might be going to war against the barbarians in the Balkans. But we'll see if we're quick enough. Oh no! This is really throwing a spanner in the works for this campaign. Okay. Now thankfully, the auto resolve is in our favour, as we put down some minor secessionists that are not happy with dictator Marcus Lepidus's rule. I kind of would have preferred Crassus as dictator. I think I would have liked that. And then have, like, Pompey go after him. Okay, so at the moment, we're pretty stable everywhere else. Switching over most of the culture to Latin. We've got food in surplus, sanitation, supply pits in certain key strategic areas as well. We're in a really good position. I should switch that eventually. I think it was switched. It shouldn't have been that. And then we'll try and take Pella and Larissa. Pella, a massive trading hub, and obviously Larissa, a food hub. We desperately need a retake. Okay, there's a small army here, but it doesn't seem to be too serious, this rebellion. We'll give chase. And we'll run them down. There might be a legion hanging out in the fog of war. If not, this rebellion is nowhere near as serious as what I anticipated. It's more of a hindrance and potentially a stumbling block. Yeah, so there's a rebel territory in Thrace that we can potentially take with impunity. Bithynia has finally fallen. Oh, that might change things in Anatolia, as there's a bit of a power shift there. Oh, wow. Right on the border. That might be an issue if we had Constantinople, Istanbul, under our control, which we don't. We still have a little bit of territory in what is Pergamon. Oh, these auto resolves seem to be very much in our favour. Thankfully. Okay. Thought these two settlements would have been a little bit complicated, but we're okay. Pella is going to be the real task. So we're going to get Scapula, Lepidus's son-in-law. He's going to go north. And then we'll get his other son-in-law to pinch her from the south. We're going to try and pinch that Pella now, and we'll see how the battle goes. If it's not in our favour, we'll fight it. So we'll move in one army. Oh wow, even one army. I think the garrisons are just terrible here in Greece. To be fair, I probably wasn't prioritising them. Oh god. Alright, let's move Scapula in. Nice. Not even a full stack either, just garrisons galore. Now, with this, we should be able to put down this rebellion. Nice. Senate secessionists defeated. That could have been far, far worse than what it could have been. Oh, but Crassus has left my faction and made the Equite faction. Oh, okay. Well, we might be ruining the consequences of this. I am seriously happy that no barbarian faction took Pella, because if they did that, we'd have to conquer them, and it might anger more of their allied / sympathetic tribes. They want trade again. Oh, right, because we've retaken Pella, that's why. I thought we had trade with them. We're probably going to be able to get a serious amount of money, yeah, because the AI loves trade with Rome. Okay, well, now with the secessionist rebellion well and truly done with, Crassus is going to try and rebuild his army in North Africa, and just seeing where Marius's forces are. So he does have there's a general there. He does have a lot of naval units hanging out in the Mediterranean. That's something we need to keep an eye on. Lepidus is currently at Genoa / Liguria. Scapula can now probably make a play for this piece of territory. Yeah, so they're at war with everyone because it's just rebelled. We still have an uneasy peace with Marius, and we might need to break it soon. We've obviously got some client states near the Germantians. So, oh wow, look at that. I was like, this might be an interesting battle, because we haven't really fought barbarians in this series just yet. But, thankfully, due to a food supply issue, they seem to be incredibly depleted. But this might complicate things. Or it might not. We're creating a bit of a buffer zone here. We're going to be able to get lead, which is kind of huge. So we bought a Thrace and some other barbarians. Interesting. Okay, skipping a little bit ahead now. 78 BC. We're moving my spy to gain some intelligence. So they have 2 territories in the south. Still got a bunch of dignitaries now deployed. Pompey has a full fleet in Syracuse. We managed to stabilize the newly conquered territory. And we're currently moving back Scapula to Cisalpine Gaul. We've also got another army moving to Genoa. We're probably going to launch a 3 legion strong attack into southern France to retake it. We want to try and get vengeance for Sulla, who was slain upon the fields of Massalia. Crassus has an army in North Africa. If we get a secondary one, that would be good. Hopefully we can declare war upon Marius and not deal with the Numidians. We also could deal with another fleet. So we're going to get one in Taurus, and we're going to invest some of our money into constructing one. Although Pompey is quite a strong and overpowered naval commander in his own right, only one full stack with him seriously isn't enough. Alright, I was reading some comments the other day. The best way to... It was on the topic of best way to get characters into your faction. Obviously, it's been a while since I've played DEI, so I kind of forgot that you have to entice characters into your other nobles section, and then from there you can adopt them into your family. It's a little bit different from Attila, because in like Attila, from like this section you can just adopt characters right in. So, what we're going to try and do... Well, it's going to be a little bit difficult now that the wives of Pompey, Crassus, and the others are technically in their other faction, so I don't know if they can still be declared as heir and whatnot. So it's still probably not a bad idea to bring them in. Like, maybe if there were minor characters, not the head of the faction, it would have worked. For example, we might have had a chance, like whoever, if, let's say Pompey's the head of the faction, if Crassus was an underling, we might have been able to bring Crassus into our family tree. Because we did marry them off quite a while ago. Yeah, so it's actually split it here. So he's not a part of that. However, the future children could potentially be. So this is a way for us to consolidate and solidify our family power structure slightly, which we'll do. If I knew this at the start of the campaign, or remembered to do it a fair few turns in, we could have changed things, but it's not overly too difficult or dramatic. My concern is for us not to have another severe secessionist civil war, particularly if we're on a full-scale conflict against Marius. Or hey, maybe we're going to be facing Pontus soon. Thankfully, we've been actually quite amicable between Mithridates, which is surprising. Maybe they're okay with me hunting down Marius, and now that ultimately Sulla lies dead in the Massalian dirt, unfortunately. So we're trying to secure some promotions, potentially in the future, as well. Alrighty. Well, I think the time is nigh. We should be ready to strike. Unfortunately, the Numidians actually took a piece of Germantian territory, which is annoying. They are at war with quite a few factions, which is surprising. So we still have trade. So we'll say, hey, Pontus, would you be interested in me joining your war? And we'll try and get some relations, because they border us from 2 sides there in Asia Minor. Like, it's going to get to a point that they're not going to be able to expand any further west through my former vassals unless they attack me. And already that makes it a neutral offering. A little bit overpowered. You nearly should always look to never outright declare war upon someone. You can avert their vassals / alliances, and you also can gain some decent relations. But once again, Sulla's Roman faction is about to go to war with Marius. Crassus has mobilized a legion. He has been tasked with trying to take North Africa in its entirety. A small army there is run back. We won't need to worry about that. We might even be able to push against the rest. We've got a secondary legion being constructed here in Carthage, but it will take some time before those units are recruited and are fully operational. Now, over the last couple of turns, there has been a significant amount of Marius fleets and armies sailing about the Mediterranean and surrounding seas. So I was actually trying to push it to North Africa, but we found one there. We might be able to strike that. So we'll swing Pompey in. Okay, we are favoured to win. Oh, it's a naval battle. Pretty decent one. Gnaeus Carbo as well. Oh, he's a naval commander, Carbo? Interesting. I'm going to auto-resolve this one. I don't, honestly, I'm not going to lie, I actually don't really enjoy naval battles too much. Shogun 2 naval battles, like, or Empire, I don't really mind. But, yeah, I don't think I've ever been much of a fan. Particularly in DEI. Like, we don't really, I like it if there's, like, artillery, but most of that is, infantry. Maybe it's because I'm not really good at it either. I play a lot of Total War Z, naval battles are turned off, so I don't tend to bother. Okay, this one's a bit better because it's a army rather than a navy. So we'll try and sink this one, and we're going to be able to destroy our first Marius Legion in this new spring offensive in 78 BC. Perfect. And we'll move you back to be housed and based in Sicily. So 2 full navies in operation. Greece is fine now. Oh, Marius is actually sending... Pontus is actually sending troops against Marius. We have Metellus there in the north garrisoning, because in that Balkan territory. We've just had problems in Greece. Always is. Fighting in and around there. But Lepidus, with 3 full legions, is going to throw everybody into Massalia. Let's move you there. And we'll move everyone in to be drawn in. And then hopefully we can have a massive, resounding result. And Massalia will be liberated. Well, the people that are loyal to Sulla are in there. And we might even erect a statue of the former dictator who laid down his life for Rome. Are we the bad guys? Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's move my spy further south as we go into Iberia. Okay, so now that we have Massalia under our control, we're actually going to be able to open up some land trade lanes between myself and the various Gallic tribes. The Aedui. I'm sure they hate Gaius Julius Caesar. He's here at some point in the Roman faction. Or Marius's faction, that is. Try and get trade with them. Alright. SPQY. I actually think that that is called Lepidus, isn't it? Lepsus is in it might be in the Imperator Augustus DLC. I can't even remember. Oh damn, okay. That auto resolve is not very much in our favour. That's annoying. We could wait for the Gamantians to come on in, but I don't think they're going to come. What we'll do is we'll send a rider to Carthage, and Crassus is going to inform Pompey that he needs naval assistance. Pompey has received the message, is now sailing down to North Africa, and nice. Yeah, it's the navy there. Pretty decent Stark general as well. So, a lot has happened in today's episode on the campaign map. A lot of shifts and territorial gains. But hopefully now that we have 4 full legions, focusing purely on Marius and the last of his faction should be enough. But to be fair, he's got a lot of Iberia. He's got a decent amount of territory. And also, we can't forget about the Numidian threat. Unfortunately, our navy is taking an absolute battering in destroying their positions. But we need to do it because even if we do take high naval losses, we are negating them from attacking our settlements with impunity. And we'll move back there and replenish and repair. Okay, so let's continue on the offensive. And let's take Narbo. And then we should be able to trade with the Celtic tribes there in Tolosa. And we're just flying on in like a maelstrom, like a force of nature. 10,000 Romans surge into southern France. Now, thankfully, it's mostly Latin culture, so we're not going to have to convert it. But now we're going to be able to hopefully open up the Iberian offensive. Yeah, look at this. Pontus are really, really happy with me. Interesting. They also have a lot of the Levant as well. They're threatening Egypt and Nabatea, which is interesting. Armenia is quite huge as well. Oh, we've actually... Oh, we found Egypt. Okay. Yeah, because Cyrenaica's... Because they're fighting Marius as well. Well, maybe we'll trade with them. But yeah, also in the Mithridatic Wars mod, I would recommend trying to make peace with Marius and major factions ever so often, because war weariness can be a bit of an issue. Not in the mechanical sense, but just needing to rebuild your forces and need to go into a state of peace just to replenish and repair, because it is quite costly anytime you lose units in DEI. Oh, that's Marius. Oh, we've got to play this one. Oh, wow, I didn't fully comprehend this. Why is he here? Crassus has somehow found Gaius Marius in North Africa. Oh, it's because when we attacked that army beforehand, it ran back. I never got to see the icon. Oh, yeah, there he is. The most wanted man in the Roman Republic. Gaius Marius. We're coming for you. Okay. I wonder if we get rid of him, would they be interested in peace, like the faction, just to confederate and just bring everyone in? We have managed to eliminate some of his most top generals and officials. But you'd think they'd be like, hey, Marius' cause is done. Well, maybe not. If Gaius Julius Caesar's about, ironically, fighting for a free and independent republic away from dictators. This alternative timeline is kind of wild. Okay, so not going to be the most overly complicated battle, as Marius looks like he's deploying mostly African conscripts. Or Numidians. Okay, here he is. If we can try and pincer him, we want to try and bring him down. Just give out some attack orders. You're annoying, so let's suppress that advice. Alright, let's go. Crassus has been tasked to bringing Gaius Marius to justice. Dead or alive is the bounty. Crassus to take out Marius. That's hilariously interesting. Oh my god, what a venomous volley there. Surely he's been taken out by the Legionaries Pila. Oh wow, look at that. Absolutely decimating his royal guard. Oh wow. The thing is, we haven't even seen Marius once in this entire campaign. What are we, 50, 60 turns into this? Maybe even longer, I can't remember. But this war has been going on for quite some time. I kind of forgot how long DEI is to take and play episodes with it, but when I get that DEI itch that I can sit down and play hours upon hours in a week to play, I love it. Because, like, normally for me, if I do an hour-long episode, I've probably recorded for like 2 or 3 and I've cut it down a bit. Probably about to wrap things up here, though. Nice, glorious victory. Because even the loading screen can be quite long. Like, I would have cut most of that loading time. But like a 20, 25-minute video, I probably recorded for an hour. The thing is as well, like, I don't know if you find it that interesting, because sometimes it takes like, so, for example, Scapula moving from Greece to Cisalpine Gaul, that's going to take 5-6 turns, maybe. And then I'm just doing some micro and stuff, and nothing usually happens. So that can go on for like 15 minutes, and that adds up quite a bit. So there's no point of watching that. I do try to edit my campaigns to some extent, so it's at least a little bit palatable. There's no sort of dead air spots. Yep, so there's a new faction leader. I don't think it's Gaius Julius. That doesn't look like him. He's got a custom face in this mod, from what I remember. Alrighty, so we're back at war with Marius. Weirdly enough, both Marius and Sulla are dead. It's been a considerable amount of time in this campaign. So we're going to try and finish off the, well, Marius faction, now led by Gaius Julius Caesar. And the Sulla faction is currently controlled by Lepidus, with Crassus and Pompey, his close supporters. He's got some last pieces of territory in Iberia, well, most of Iberia, a little bit of North Africa as well. We're also coming into contact with Celto-Iberian and Gallic tribes for the first time. We're going to try and get trade with them. And we're going to march down into Hispania here today. 3 legions flooding into Iberia now. Okay, so they've increased in rank. We've got a legion down in North Africa. Wait, trespasser, what? Oh, okay. I guess they were attacking rebels? Crassus managed to capture and deal with Gaius Marius in the last episode. So Numidia is actually at war with me now. That's annoying. So we're going to have to deal with them. They still have this piece of Gamantian territory under their control. That was actually under occupation of the Gamantians at some point, so we're going to have to go over there and try and liberate it. It's interesting that... Oh, maybe... Yeah, why have the Romans taken that? That's weird. I think, oh, maybe the Numidians are attacking them, but they're not. Alright, so let's get Crassus to take this. I'll occupy, I think. We could liberate the faction that is there. We can't just give it to the Gamantians, which I'll do. We'll see how we go. We might be able to hold it. It's just like, if I can avoid going into those far-flung desert territory, it's probably not a bad idea. I'm actually going to move this army from Carthage down to Thapsus, and I've actually brought back Legion 1. It's been a while since we've had that Legion in operation. It's got a fair amount of skills in it. It's because the army got crushed with Sulla and I kind of forgot about it. But it's kind of cool. Now that some time has passed, years, decades, we've got a new generation in this civil war. Because normally it would be wrapped up once the capitals get taken. But this is a long and arduous civil war. Also in the last episode, we had some separatists we had to deal with, and we eventually found Gaius Marius. Oh, but here's Gaius Julius Caesar, though. That's massive. So he's currently trying to defend Hispania. 5-star commander, fighting for the liberty and sanctity of the Republic, while Lepidus is now in a full-flung dictatorship. That is very weird to see. Anyway, let's march on in. Lepidus and Gaius Julius Caesar about to battle it out. Oh wow, this is going to be a massive battle. We're not favoured to win this one, so let's encircle and let's bring in some additional reinforcements here. Let's get Lepidus's son-in-law to help on out. And I guess we get this other army to push north. But I guess we'll fight this one here today. It's going to be a massive one. Lepidus facing Gaius Julius Caesar. Alright, welcome to the battle map. This is actually going to be huge. 16,000 Romans about to clash. They've got amphibious units, which we're going to have to watch out for as well. But Lepidus has the best army in the entire industrial complex. We've got a bunch of skirmishers equipped with crossbows, thanks to Syracuse. We've even got some auxiliary legionaries as well. And we've got another wave coming on in. So we'll try and hit this settlement from a multiple pronged attack, surround it from all sides, move in our archers, and let's try and do some damage. And then hopefully this is sort of the main resistance they're only coming up against. So far in this war we managed to crush a full legion in the sea, transiting. Pompey managed to destroy them, and we've crushed the navy, although we've taken pretty decent losses of our own. Crassus was able to mop up, you could nearly say half a legion in North Africa, and then obviously there's a full legion here. So there might be a couple more. But for some reason, what I've noticed throughout this campaign, regardless of the territory, Gaius Marius' faction seems to outproduce us infantry-wise and unit-wise. Okay, let's get some skirmishers to soften them up, and then we'll send the boys on in. And then I might even have a little old look for Caesar. Which is cool that he's in this mod. Face scanned in. It's like a younger version of him as well. It looks cool. It's different from his Caesar and Gaul model. Okay, let's go from here. We need to get these additional reinforcements in. So, we're still continuing on our series objective to take Rome, which we did pretty early on in the campaign, because we put it as our priority. And we still want to try and defeat the Marius faction, which is easier said than done. This is turning into... This is part 7. This is probably 7-hour campaign. Maybe longer. I don't even know if we're going to be able to wrap them all up here today, even once we get rid of Caesar. I did try and sue for peace with Marius's loyalists. It's weird calling this Marius's Rome Sulla. I could change the thumbnail and the title, but I think it's just clearer to be a little bit concise. Like, even though Lepidus has been the dictator for quite some time now, I think it just caused confusion. But the blue and the reds back at it again. But yeah, it would have been cool if we could somehow... I wonder if that, to be fair, once you get rid of... Well, the thing is, we've been at peace with them for quite some time. I wonder if there was like a Confederation mod. I should have downloaded at that point. Oh my god. What a savage animation there. We're actually fighting a Iberian ethnic unit here, which is quite cool. Not only are we fighting our Latin brothers, but we're fighting some Hispania conscripts. What was the point I was going to say? Oh yeah, right. I wonder if there's like a Confederation mod, because I would have liked to bring Julius Caesar into the fold. Because although this civil war's gone on for decades, we have had some essentially ceasefires and some white pieces. I don't know why, but Caesar seemed a little bit bugged there. Did you see that? It's like his helmet is going through his skull. A little bit weird, but whatever. Right, let's move these archers up, and we've got to watch out for that naval unit. Some of them have actually disembarked and have gotten into the settlement. But it's still quite close for this one. I think they slightly outnumber us. Just due to the garrison, but I would say that on paper, if you worked it all out, Lepidus and his additional reinforcing legion probably have quality over quantity, while only Caesar has a full stack here, and then a garrison supporting. So what's going to win out in DEI? Quantity or quality? Alright, let's speed things up, because tactically nothing really is going on too much. It's turning into a bit of a stalemate. A meat grinder. Okay, so we've done well there. So there's essentially 4 pockets of fighting. We've broken through the center there, which is quite good. And now on this left-hand side, we're struggling. Oh, bear with me. We've got some amphibious forces actually disembarking and getting on the beach quite well. Okay. We can't allow them to essentially have free reign here on the beach, because they could really disrupt the firing pattern of our archers. The Marines are not overly too numbered, but they're pretty decent units, the ones that come off the boats. Wow, what a crazy shot that is. So quickly deal with them. And we've still got the main attack group going and focusing on Caesar himself, the general unit, and getting the town square. If we could somehow get that fully under our control, we might be able to initiate a countdown, but at least get the balance of power. They are really throwing more troops here into this narrow corridor. Although we're attacking them, they're moving quite a bit. Okay, if we can win that corner there, we might be able to open up a wider front like that. Okay, let's flood more military units and assets through that choke point. And we're still trying to go for the center here. We're committing a lot of forces. We outnumber them massively, but we just need to crush and destroy. There's 2 pretty decent legionary units holding. And where is the man, the myth, the legend? Oh, there he is. He's still alive. Which is surprising. Bloody and battered. Gaius Julius Caesar. Horse is bucking quite a bit. Oh God, what's going on with his mouth? Why does that blood look so weird? It looks like he's got into the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, Caesar. He's got one caught in his mouth. Why's his mouth going so wide? Nom 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 nom. Oh no. Okay. I don't know why I find that so funny. It was interesting, the animation there as well, though. His horse was going wild. Not unsurprising. It's in the middle of a battle. Okay. So some of the units that are getting flanked on are capitulating. Oh, wow. We were focusing on that beach engagement, but they've actually kind of thrown us back slightly. They're about to capitulate, hopefully. And if we can get rid of these 3 units, we should be able to win this battle. We can free up those units. The archers hitting them from the sides and the rear is probably actually what's doing most of the damage. A lot of my archers are out of ammunition though. Okay, there's some here that have a little bit. The crossbows. We don't have a baggage train, unfortunately. The general unit's now fleeing. Just trying to finish off the little last of his units here. And we should be right. So this will be the 3rd legion destroyed. Man, the amount of legions we've crushed in this series is kind of crazy. But the way this campaign is going, we're going to be wrapping things up in the not too distant future. So let me know in the comments early now what you would like me to replace this campaign with, so I can make some plans and preparations. Obviously Marius is always going to be on the list. Regardless, we're going to do it at this point. We're going to do it. We're going to play as Gaius Marius at some point this year. Guaranteed. Because I love Rome. I always play as Rome. And I really like DEI. But I just think like playing Marius straight after this, it might be a little bit too repetitive. We might need a break for a little bit. Like, you're nearly better off playing as Pontus. Okay, so the victory point is fully under our control, and the countdown has not been initiated. Oh my god, we got some units actually fleeing. We are really struggling to push to that point. Nice. We did manage to win on that little beachhead that they created. So, how about now that the town square has been freed up, we'll try and push from the rear. Man, you got to give it to Caesar's soldiers. They are absolutely loyal, tough, and strong, and are going to fight to the bitter end like their commander. Speaking of him, he's actually recovered here. And this might be Caesar here, so we'll get the cavalry to engage. The Equitates. The Equites. And we'll get Lepidus as well. I don't want to kill you, Caesar. But, I'm gonna have to... Is he there? Yep, there he is. Oh, no. I'll try and track him, but sometimes it's quite hard. I try to track generals as best I can when the fighting breaks out, because you kind of want to see them slain. Sometimes you just can't, because it's so hard to, like, track. It's bloody Where's Wally. There he goes. He's fallen from his horse. Or Where's Waldo, wherever you are. It's Wally here. Yeah, there he is. Gaius Julius Caesar is no more. Lie slain upon the field of battle. Trampled in the end. The Julii Claudian dynasty will not come to be. Well, maybe Octavian's still alive, to be fair. But, yeah, but maybe even, yeah, because Pompey's been remarried. Because then even that's in this alternative timeline. Pompey was never married to Julius Caesar's sister. Or whatever. Well, now that Caesar's gone, you'd think his units would instantly capitulate, but they're not. Still absolutely fighting. My god. Alright, now that they're wrapping around a bit better. Yeah, nice. They're wavering there. Perfect. But a battle against Gaius Julius Caesar. There were some questions you guys were asking. Is he in this mod? Yeah. He's a part of the Marius faction. Just haven't seen him for quite some time. I guess he was hanging out in Iberia for quite a bit. To be fair, we didn't see Gaius Marius until a fair few hours into this campaign. He's kind of like Bigfoot. I didn't know he existed. Okay, we've won now. Want to try and run down as many of them as we can. And we're going to claim a massive victory here today against the last remnants and pockets of the faction loyal to Marius. Okay. Nice. Massive battle. Probably numerically the biggest of the series. Did we... I think we've had a couple 10Ks, a couple 12Ks. Have we had a 16,000 man battle? Maybe. But, what a crazy result. Dictator, Marcus Lepidus. More or less an emperor at this point. Has now crushed Gaius Julius Caesar. up on the field of battle. Marius as well. Who's going to take control of the faction? Who knows? They're running out of generals. Let's end that one there. Would you look at that? Whew. And now we're going to take our first piece of territory in the Roman province of Hispania, like the actual province. And we're going to try and continue to run down the last of their settlements. And hopefully we're going to have some last little bits of resistance. But they mustn't have too many more armies. You'd think, but you never know. There could be like 3 legions just hanging out there. They're not interested in peace. Anyway, interesting. Here today, hopefully, we can finish off the last of Marius's faction. And finally end this savage civil war once and for all. So, I hope you all enjoy. So, he's only got a couple little bits of territory left in Africa and far western Iberia. He does have Cyrenaica though, so that could be a little bit of an issue. A small army there is halting our advance in Iberia. In the last episode, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you do. We managed to have a massive 16,000 man battle against Gaius Julius Caesar, and unfortunately he's no more. Alright, so let's continue to push into Iberia and bring it under Sulla's control. Gaius Marius and Sulla are both decades dead at this point, as this war has gone on for so long. Lepidus is facing the last loyal remnants of Gaius Marius. He fell a few episodes ago, and then the new leader, Gaius Julius, as well, fell in the last episode. And we'll push north here now as well. Okay, it's time to get the navy back on operations in the Mediterranean. So we have a fleet garrisoned in Sardinia. We'll allow it to do some naval actions. Whoa. Why are we not favoured to win that one? Okay, that's a bit weird. Let's forget that and move you back to Corollas. Alright. And we'll get Pompey to come back out eventually as well. Alright, let's bring Numantia under our control. Now, thankfully, most of this region... Wait, I'd imagine is Latin because it's been controlled for so long. Hang on. Yeah, it is. Hispania is Latin. Which is good for me. We'll be able to easily incorporate these territories into the Roman dictatorship under Lepidus. Wait, what? Oh, is that bugged? I can't even move that out. That's so weird. That one can move, but this one, because it's in the radius. No, that might be bugged. That's unfortunate. Well, maybe if it moves, we might be able to intercept it. That's a weird bug. Yeah, I can't seem to move this army out. Oh, that's annoying. Well, please take into consideration that this version is still technically a beta. Yeah, look at this. Why isn't it? Why? It's like it's not meant to be there on the map, that unit, or I should have fled. So weird. Anyway, Lepidus can now move on. Thankfully, it wasn't him. With Legion Macedonia. And we haven't come across a full stack lurking about. Hopefully we can find one so we can have a battle here today. But we're just sort of mopping up the last little remnants of this faction. Oh, but this province in Western Iberia is not Latin. Okay, that could complicate things. Also, they firmly control what is like modern day Portugal as well. But, okay, so we're not favoured to win that one. But taking all of this territory, sometimes it's worth checking. Okay, so we can't take it. Yeah, taking the last of Marius. It's weird calling it Marius's faction, but it is still technically, when he's dead, Marius's loyalists. So they do have Corsica as well. Can I move the navy up there to take that if we can't fight other navies? And they've also got some of the islands in and around the Mediterranean as well. Okay. How's Crassus doing? He's still down here. We might need to move against the Numidians, which can be a bit annoying, because their horse archers are pretty good. Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting this. I believe this is the navy we tried to hunt down. Or maybe. It's travelled quite a bit. Anyway, we're going to win a small naval engagement here in the defense one of our Iberian coastal cities. Worth the attempt. Okay, that's complicated things. As soon as I moved Crassus out towards our North African coastal territory, a Numidian force is going to come in and seize the city. Quite easily as well. Man, the amount of times this settlement has traded back and forth between the two Roman factions, the Gamantians, now the Numidians. Or maybe they've just sacked it by the look of it. Okay, so we're going to have some help from the Gamantians here, which is pretty good. I think they've actually been changed culture-wise. They're technically not like desert, or desert, whatever they are. I thought they were desert nomads in a previous patch. Correct me if I'm wrong. Now they're Numidian. So they're going to come in and help. Thankfully, we don't need to bring down an additional army. Pompey can take it. And now all of Africa is under our control. However, we've still got Cyrenaica to take. We could potentially liberate it and make it as a buffer zone. Or maybe we should border Egypt. I haven't decided just yet. Well, let's go back and try and retake it if we can. So we currently have 2 full legions operating in North Africa. And we've got the... Well, we have 3, but now 2 still tied up here. That's so annoying. I don't know how to fix it. Yeah, why is it bugged like that? I might need to issue a bug report in the Discord if I can remember. A little bit scary going to the fog of war, but it should be okay. Yeah. Oh god. There is an army there, but they haven't seemed to recruit. So we're just sort of slowly but surely putting in the work in the hard yards to gobble up the last of their territory. It's just so much space between these settlements. It takes a while. Okay, yeah, so they do have Cyrenaica, Cyrene, whatever this is. I guess we move Pompey over there. And I wonder if the Egyptians will come in. We'll block it. Even if they do sally out and attack us and stop the blockade, we should be okay. Oh, wow. So they've rebelled from me. So, hang on. Oh, they're interested in a client state. I guess. I've said this. I kind of hate controlling it, particularly as Rome. Just because you get so many bad desert negative debuffs. It's like kind of, the mod kind of incentivizes you to not hold it. Okay, they're going to accept a client status. Hilarious. Sure. We'll give it to these guys. That's a weird looking logo as well. Anyway, let's move out of there. Yeah, that Gamantian territory is just bloody cursed. Oh, I don't know if we'd win that, actually. Yeah. Stuff that. Fortified in. Yeah, fortified battle, 4 battles in DI, yeah, no thanks. And plus a garrison reinforcement, get out of here, we ain't winning that. Even with a battle-hardened legion. Oh, also, I managed to get this army out. I got it out navally, somehow. I don't know how I did it, I just spammed a bit. So, the minor bug is averted. We still can't take this. However, the army is still in there. It's like they think they own the settlement. We're also just getting some local Iberian swordsmen here, which are pretty decent in my opinion. Another fleet attack. That's so strange. Maybe it's calculating that the garrison fleet is weak, but not the garrison inside, because they are just absolutely throwing away military units and assets into the Iberian coast, and I'm not necessarily sure why they're doing that. A little bit weird, but whatever. Okay, so hopefully they leave my military vassals there alone. Okay, so we've got 2 full stacks here. Crassus turning out to be Crassus Africanus, I suppose. So, ooh. Yeah, I don't really want to play a fort battle. They're just still dug in here. I would seriously nearly take the auto resolve. Fort battles are an absolute nightmare to play. Oh my god, it was a Pyrrhic victory. But we're not going to have enough to launch a full-scale invasion into Numidia. Honestly, we're focusing on Marius. I'd nearly... Like, ideally, if we could make Numidia and Jugurtha's relatives like our vassal, that would be ideal for me. Right, back up in the north here, still dealing with some of these garrisons. Okay, now it's more favourable. Yeah, haven't had a really interesting battle come up that I wanted to really play. No full Roman legion anywhere. And I would say arguably that fight against the Numidians just then was actually better to auto-resolve. Alright, still mopping up some of the last of these garrisons. I don't mind playing garrison battles, particularly like early in the campaign, but now they're in the mid to late campaign. Not so much. Alright, let's occupy this. Nice, our Imperium's gone up. That's quite handy. We're actually at the cap of our dignitaries. Oh, but our Empire maintenance has gone up, so now we're in a negative amount of funds. Annoying. Alright, let's negotiate with the Numidians and see if we can get some favourable negotiations. Still at war with Marius and them. So they're interested in peace. I'd like if they would switch sides, but I don't think they will. Maybe we'll just try and get better relations with them. Offer them trade and prosperity and try and influence their standing with us. Oh, okay. So during the end turn phase, Pompey's still blockading Cyrenaica. And it looks like we're going to be able to take the settlement, which is kind of huge. Or maybe not. Or maybe at least weaken enough that we can go in. Oh, wow. What is this? Egypt has come. There's 2 full stacks and like 3 on the coast. Why have they got so many forces there? Look at this. This is absurd. No, they're all armies. Pompey's like... he's like... nearly 25,000 Egyptians on the horizon. Yeah, I got a decision here. The thing is, if I liberate them... okay, so that's actually factored in. If I liberate Cyrene Cyrenaica, they're going to attack them and that's going to draw me in. I nearly actually might occupy. We've actually got pretty good relations with the Egyptians. Mark Antony and Caesar are no more. They're going to stuff things up with Cleopatra. Maybe Lepidus can sort of, well, keep it in his pants, let's say. Alright, yeah, military access, we'll offer them that. Okay. Yeah, we just have pretty good relations. It's interesting because they're Hellenic. My god, Pontus is massive. I guess just because they're just like buffed up. And Armenia, oh my god. They've got like Nabatea lands as well. Yeah, we just got really good relations with them, which is really quite thankfully. We managed to game Pontus and Armenia this game, which I'm kind of happy about. Honestly, on this difficulty, trying to deal with Marius has been not quite difficult. Definitely not easy to say the least. We have had to have some like breaks in hostilities as well. But yeah, like we actually had to take a 10-15 turn breather of maybe even longer, just to build back up to be stronger than them after our campaign in southern France failed. But yeah, I can't imagine fighting on two fronts. We sort of gave up our conquests in the Far East and let our vassals go. Speaking of Pontus. So, oh yeah, we're still sieging out Corsica. We haven't had favourable results. We're going to decline that. Maybe they're going to weaken them. Alright, so, once we take Tingis and a little bit of this North African territory, it's really only 2 islands that they've got left. So, bear with me. We might have to get... Hang on. I want Lepidus, because he's the better commander. Control this. It is always a little bit tricky and daunting going across a strait. Really, that shouldn't be allowed to move that army across there. Like, to make things difficult. Like in Hearts of Iron and various other games, fighting across a strait like that, without like some sort of naval access, is nearly nigh impossible. Like, just being able to send that over made it quite easy. Okay, well now we're in the region of Mauritania, and we border now with the Gaetulians, who I'm still kind of surprised they're alive. Our military allies. I thought they would have been taken out quite a long time ago. Okay, well, let's cross over here now with Scapula. And... oh, yes. We'll definitely take that. Auto-resolve. Yeah. Nothing... not really any of these battles have really piqued my interest, or sort of unique battles. Mostly just fighting garrisons. I don't mind fighting battles that are really, really close in my favour. But, yeah, I know some people that like if they're going to win the auto-resolve, they just don't play it. What's this? Ooh, okay, during the end turn phase, Gnaeus I thought we got rid of him. Carbo's still hanging out. I guess we'll allow... so Pontus, why are they so far in the Western Mediterranean? I guess they hate Marius as much as we do. Oh well. Alright, so we haven't had a favourable auto-resolve trying to take Corsica, so I've actually sent an army. It's taken a little bit of time to get here, but we'll get Lucilius over here, and with the navy as well. This should be the end of Marius. They mustn't have too much territory now. Once again, liberating them potentially. Yeah, they've only got one piece of territory left, and then that's it. Will be the one and only Roman faction, the undisputed true Romans. Okay, so let's so I think Gnaeus Carbo is the leader. Is that going to be drawn in? And oh, it's not. That's annoying. Gonna have to do one more turn. Oh, so close. We could have won it then. Oh my god. So during the end turn phase, unfortunately Marius actually took that Iberian territory to the north. It's so annoying. So now we're gonna have to rally the troops up there. Even if we take this, that's not the end of them. So we're gonna have to send our forces up there to put the final nail in Marius's coffin. My god. This has taken like an hour or so. This is taking so long. I'm kind of surprised like how long this is taking just to finish off the last of him. It's just this territory, man. It's just so massive. I feel like Greece and Italy, like the settlements are like really condensed with the territory. Like it's some of these are really so far and in between. Okay, so I guess we amphibiously attack. No, why is it going there? Whatever. Let's bring the navy and make sure we get a resounding, outstanding auto-resolve. And then, hopefully that's it. Come on. Nice. Slash. And we will, of course, occupy. That army now is probably gone. Why is it still there? That's so weird. Do they have anything else? No. That's it. They're just going to be able to rot away there. Can we somehow attack them? Oh no, we can't actually, unless they attack us, we can't actually get the faction destroyed thing. Because they're like bugged there. Oh no. That's so annoying. Oh well, they're defeated, we took all their territory. That's it, we won. It's only going to be like, what, 10 turns anyway before they rot away into nothing. I don't think that, they can't possibly have any other territory. But there's the family tree. Lepidus. Ideally, I'd make like Crassus next in line over Pompey, but it's more than likely going to be Scapula. But that's it. Sulla's faction has won the Civil War. And now Rome controls the majority of the Mediterranean. Nice. We have finally completed, after 8 episodes, nearly like 24 hours of this campaign probably, I've sunk into this over a couple weeks, like 24 hours of pure gameplay. We took Rome. Unfortunately, we lost Sulla in the process, but this is a decades-long war, so it's not unsurprising. And Lepidus is now dictator. The Romans are not at war. Well, I'm going to put a pin in the campaign. Always going to keep the save files. Let me know in the comments should I continue. I'll sort of judge the feedback suggestions and how well this campaign does overall. But it's kind of cool at this point. You could, like, this is like a short victory condition that we completed. We potentially could do like a long, for example. We could have Lepidus forming this Roman Empire, because once we build on up, we could maybe launch into Gaul, open a front there. I think we do want to try and get the Numidians potentially as a client state or a vassalship. But the big thing would be going eastward. We've allowed Pontus to build up quite significantly, and Armenia as well. If we could somehow get the Egyptians on our side, because it looks like they've pushed into their sphere of influence massively. Like, the Seleucids are no more. You'd think Egypt would have most of the Levant and maybe some of the Nabatean territory, but the Armenians and Pontus are there. But yeah, that could be the second stage. Maybe the next part of this series, we could have Lepidus, Pompey, and Crassus's wars against Mithridates and Pontus. Let me know in the comments if that's something you'd like to see. But yeah, I think this year at some point in 2023, we're going to come back to this mod. Maybe if there's an update. Maybe we'll play it the next update. But I'm definitely keen to play as Gaius Marius and Julius Caesar at some point. So expect that at some point this year. I might actually wait for the next update. Or a big update for this. We'll see. I just feel like doing it straight after. We've done too much Roman. It'd be too much. It'd be too similar putting it back to back. But I would be open to playing as Pontus. But also, there's so many other Total Wars to play. Plenty of campaigns. I'm not going anywhere. Still enjoying Total War. I've been doing this for years now. So always expect a campaign. Coming out ever so often and videos on the channel. Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. Stay tuned for something coming out tomorrow. If you like this type of content, like and subscribe. And if you want to see more from me, check out the videos on screen. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in the next one. My name has been Simsy. Cheers.